This guy has had a really fucking rough week, and you've just made it way worse. Like, he's just watched people being mauled to death by some winged beast, and you're just bullying him. Hello.
Hi. Which
Hello.
I can't wait.
We're Boogie Mustache. We're going to be streaming some D&D tonight. Our resident DM, Chris, is under the weather, so you're joined with me and these three ladies.
It's Goldie indeed.
Yeah, okay.
Goldie.
I'll piss off then, shall I?
I feel like you're more of a woman than me.
Right. So, before we begin, do we have any sort of housekeeping to do? I know I've got a little bit to go through. Anyone else?
No.
Okay, cool. So, I did it last time, but I'll do it again for new people and to remind you, I do use some house rules, like homebrews. When we round a value, we always round down. No, shit, wrong way, up. I had two options and I picked the wrong one. We always round up. I think it says that in the book, but I'm just clarifying it. Flanking, you don't get advantage, you get a +1 instead, because advantage is broken. When you get a crit, I'll explain it when we do it, but basically the minimum you can get is the damage of the dice and upwards, because the idea is if you roll below half on the dice, it rounds up to the half. So basically you're always guaranteed to do the damage of the dice up to the double, so it's just beefier hits.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me that.
yeah,
We're
you don't
doing
have
it.
to
Yeah, I'll explain that as we
Don't
do it.
stress me.
Crit fail, if you roll a 1, you roll a d20 again, and that determines the severity of your fail. So if you roll a second one, it's real bad. You good? How did you break the pen? How did you press down that hard that it popped off? What are you doing?
Wow.
I was dotting an eye.
How hard do you dot your pencil through 8 pages? Jesus. Okay, and then basically if you roll a 1 or after a 1, it's real bad. If you roll a 20 after a 1, it's bad, but it's going to work out in your favour somehow. It's just going to be like silly. Like you'll end up stabbing someone next, like the goblin next to the goblin you're trying to hit or something.
Okay.
Healing potions always heal the maximum amount. I don't know if you've got healing potions, I don't know if they'll come up, just in case. And if a creature is at 50% or below of its health, I'll tell you it's bloodied, just so you have an idea that it's at 50% or below. So that's my homebrews covered so far. I'll remind you of the crits when they come up, because it's bloody awkward. So, are we all ready to begin?
Yes. Although, we normally have people helping us, so you might have to help us.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just saying.
We'll
Can you pass me
we'll
those
take
dice?
the pacing,
See.
however quickly or slowly it needs to go.
Because once again, I've chosen someone that I don't know how the fucking hell to play.
Which is why we need to do a campaign, because we can just jump straight into it. Also, quick disclaimer, this is the second session I'm DMing this afternoon, so if I randomly start talking about other characters or places or people, hashtag whoops.
Second.
Sue me.
Sacked.
Right, okay, so are we good to go?
I think so.
Right, so this is the Valley of Scales, one shot. I don't know if you two saw it earlier.
David said you will also help us as well.
We haven't been watching The Witcher, what do you mean?
I haven't watched any of it yet, just saying.
It's good!
I love games and I'm
I've
scared.
forgotten it. I need to watch it again.
We did watch it in an afternoon.
I kept falling asleep.
That's right.
Every single TV show we watch, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. Neath the cresting sun, a brisk breeze blows down the Valley of Scales, across its emerald hillsides and over its gentle streams. On the eastern edge of the valley, steeped and jagged mountains stretch towards the gods, clambering over one another to receive the gaze of their favoured deities. A rich variety of flora too reach ever upwards, but not towards the gods, but the sun. They long for her sweet caress and nourishment. Day after day they beg her to show her glorious countenance, and each time she delivers. The delicate blossoms fear the day where she does not take them in her embrace. Amongst the bracken, the high grass and the reeds live a menagerie of beasts and birds. The valley overflows with the life of the spring newborns, bleating, howling and roaring. They crescendo as the sun, so beautiful, rises above the mountain tops. The valley soon becomes what a druid would consider heaven. Southwards now we find a town, a quaint and crooked town filled with all odds and ends and queer folk. Around the gallows in the centre of town gathers an odious crowd of all types of folk. This outpost on the edge of the continent runs on the sweat and tears of half-breeds, short folk, tall folk, and all the ranges of beard and ear sizes in between. And here they all are, gathered around a portly old dwarf, a woman, and a rope. "People," shouts the dwarf, "lend me your ears and your attention. This crooked hag has brought down upon us hellfire of old, with her fallacious beliefs and her magic so foul. From the depths of hell she has brought down the wrath of the dark gods." The crowd in front of you begin to jeer, yelling obscenities and profanities, throwing various foodstuffs and sticks. "People, save your food! This devil's whore shall hang by the neck till dead. She needs not waste any more of your resources. She has already caused the burning of crops and homes." And with that, he kicks the lever. The floor falls from under her feet. She plummets quicker than a single member of the mob can even blink. There is a heart-wrenching scream of fear, followed by a sickening crunch. There now hangs her limp corpse. An innocent woman accused of witchcraft, accused of bringing forth a draconic creature that has immolated half the town. "Go about your business. Go about repairing our town. Fear not the monster. We will have its bones in stew by the week's end. We have hired external help to slay the colossal creature, so please fear not." And here we join you three, the external help.
Good.
You are each standing there where the crowd once stood. Having only just arrived in the town the previous night, this hanging was quite the welcome. The dwarf beckons you forward and asks you to introduce yourselves. So, who's first?
You should find who I am. Sorry.
Go on, Cassie, go first.
Okay, so I'm Inil Oakenheel. She's
Ilin.
Inil. Yes, INNIL.
Oh my
Inil.
god, Inil.
Yeah, she is a high elf rogue who kind of typical, long black hair down to the back of her calves. Half of it is up, half of it's down. Nice long plait. The rest of it's really wavy. She's quite pale, like so pale that you can kind of see that she's got like a blue tinge to her skin because she's kind of like see-through dead kind of looking skin, which is not very nice. But she's also got, like, when you look at her eyes, she's got silver eyes that just glisten. But she's quite young for an elf. She's kind of a human age of about 20, so she's very, very young for an elf.
Yeah.
And still considered a child, basically, in elven culture.
Oh god.
She's not. She's just still considered a child.
Right.
She's so
I don't
because
count. That's good.
No,
I was gonna
no.
say they're considered adult.
At 100.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
So like.
So she is very young for an elf.
She's
She can't tell her head from her ass, and
no,
she's been
like
hired to
she's
slay a
not
draconic
very
monster.
she's not very experienced. Is
Yeah.
probably the best way to put it. But she's good at what she does.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, cool. Next. Who
Okay.
starts thou?
I'll go next. So, my character is, I'll introduce her name later, but she
Oh, God.
is a blue dragonborn.
Ooh.
Generic looking dragonborn, just a bit sort of beefed up and just, you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of them kind of thing.
Just a roided up lizard monster.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Did you say she was a she? Sorry.
She is a she.
I think she's a
Yes.
she.
Yes.
Oh my god, you're all actually playing.
I think we're
women.
all playing women.
Wait.
Oh, actually, we're for a
This is
change.
gonna
Damn
make it
it!
so much easier for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time it's like, you there, lady. I'm a man. Shit, sorry, you there, man.
I thought we were all going to play men, to be fair.
We should have we should just all identify as
No,
men.
you've just, Monty
Yeah.
Python where they've got the knitted beards.
Yeah.
All of you have just got knitted beards.
Yeah.
You all pretend to be.
Just
It's just all the Dragon Ball snouts.
Yeah.
Is there any menu?
No. Okay.
But yeah, she spent most of her time, as soon as she was old enough, just out fighting wars. She's just a bit of a badass, just
Murder
going
Brigade.
and punching and kicking anything that says the wrong thing to her, basically.
Is she a monk?
No.
Mm.
Bugger the weapons, I'll just punch them.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, okay. So what is this
She's a
rider's name?
barbarian.
Is her name Barbara?
No.
Damn it.
Oh god.
No, it's
Missed
not that.
opportunity.
What is it?
Her name is Deb B.
Jesus Christ.
D-E-B-B space B-E-A-H. Deb B.
I love it. Deadbeat. Okay.
Oh.
I think I wrote Deadbeat. No.
Oh, excuse me.
Like flash before your eyes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who be they?
High, dark high elf. Yeah. Sort of. She's not a drow, but she's
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
She's a half-breed. So, Jeff, if you'd like to introduce your character.
So, my character is called Rasiri. She's a half orc ranger. So you can, to look at her, obviously you can clearly quite see that she's an orc, half orc. But she's got like the typical, black braided hair. I've lost the description of her and I can't remember her. She's quite tall. She's quite young as well. And she's basically like, she got kicked out of her clan, so to say,
Clan tribe.
because of her fascination with elves.
Oh, fucking hell, get away from
She's
me.
a filthy elf lover. Right, okay, so stepping down from the gallows, the dwarf named Tovald approaches you. He looks like any other peasant, apart from the fact that he has this large, basically cummerbund belt with a big jewel in the middle, and he's got this scraggy black grey leather cap that presses in so tightly that A, he has muffled hearing, and B, it causes his hair to stick out at a funny angle, and it's curled around the base of the hat. And his beard for a dwarf isn't particularly fancy as far as it goes. He keeps it long enough to just cover his neck, but not long enough that he can plait it properly or put any decorations in. He, especially in comparison to you, a dragonborn who would be 6 foot plus, is tiny. He stands maybe even for a dwarf he's quite short. He's more like the height of a halfling. You're talking 3 foot something, not 4 foot something. He's particularly tinsy, and he's looking up at you, and he's like, right, so you were the hired help, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember seeing your face before. Are you the help?
Yeah.
Good. How did you find your first day here in the Valley of Scales? I assume you came in last night because the sun's only just come up, and he just looks at it and he's like, oh shit, shouldn't have done that. Right. I'll lay it out. Oh, go on.
Go on.
No, go on.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something and then I was like, oh, no.
Right, let me lay it out for you. We've already sent our best soldiers and men to fight this beast. We believe it to be a dragon, but others say it's a wyvern. Some people say it's neither. They're very finicky about whether it's got front legs or not. I don't know. All I know is it's fucking big, it breathes fire, it ripped down half the city and carried off half our sheep. So, well, we sent this, soldier party, whatever, to go and kill it, and out of 12 that went, 2 returned, one of which horrendously burned, basically melted to a crisp. Is going to be disfigured for life. He's struggling to breathe. Chances are he'll be dead by tomorrow. The other one, on the other hand, managed to escape without any problem at all. We think he's a bit of a runaway kind of lad, so he's going to show you the way up valley. Up valley? I mean, even more north then. Jesus. He's going to show you the way up the valley to where they believe that they saw the wyvern, dragon, whatever, flying away. You kill it, you bring back proof, we give you good money. Easy enough.
Was good money.
250 gold for each of you.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's good money.
It's not bad considering, you know, we're all peasants and that,
Hmm.
and half our crops have just been burnt down.
I'm more interested in the fact that you've just hanged the woman when this.
Oh, the
ran
witch.
away. Is she a witch?
Yeah, she was a witch.
How was she a witch?
We measured her weight against a duck.
Oh, that's
And
weird.
she like, she was heavier than the duck, but the scales were a bit funny for a moment, so we thought better safe than sorry.
Right. Okay.
We
What about
believe
the
that her dark
runaway?
magic summoned the monster thing.
So now now she's dead. Surely they should just go away.
Yeah, that's not how it works, so is it? It's black magic. It just kind of like lingers around.
Hmm.
It's like real bad.
Why aren't you killing this runaway? Surely it's more important to kill a runaway than a.
We're not.
Innocent old lady.
It's not proven. It's just, you know, considering every other bugger died, you know. He just saw a bloody dragon or wyvern or whatever like rip people apart. I think he's had enough trouble for one day.
Right.
Well,
Good.
I find the whole thing dead weird. Don't know about you lot.
Look, she was a bloody witch. There was
I think it's
black
'cause she
candles
was
in her
a
house. I don't think this is the accent I started the guy with, but
No, it isn't.
it's
But
really
fine.
not.
I think she's a she.
I just kind of
because
forgot.
She's a she, and we're gonna prove you.
We'll just run with it. You just got like more northern this time.
Just keep going like up and up and.
He's gonna end up Scottish by the time.
Yeah. I can't even remember how we started him. I'll just watch it in the VOD or something. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Um.
I mean, Wilhelm in every way, so I can't Torvald. So
Okay.
yeah, this guy will lead you up the valley, and then,
Run away.
well, hopefully not. Hopefully he'll stay and help you fight the big. Look, I'm not even like a proper mayor or anything. I'm a man with a belt. I'm basically just a peasant that's been promoted last week.
I'm
so
surprised you can carry the belt.
It's very heavy.
Hmm.
He looks down and he takes up like literally like his whole gut, and he's like, well, if there's anything I can help you with before you go,
Where's the crispy man?
Crispy man. I assume you mean the man that was burned horrendously. Yes.
Yeah.
He's in, and then he kind of like awkwardly looks around the town centre. He kind of like still hasn't quite figured out where he is because like half the buildings have been destroyed and it's looking really weird to him. And he goes, I think that one over there. I think that's his house. He's with the priest at the moment. They're praying for a speedy recovery, but chances are it's not looking good. He is proper minging. Like his face is just. It's not good.
Do you want us to kill him first?
No.
Why are we killing this guy?
Well,
It's crispy.
Yeah, but
what, out of like mercy or something?
Yeah.
Well, that's up to him, not me. That would be weird. So, go and kill Captain Crispy over there.
maybe we could get 250 coal for just killing this guy.
That's what I'm thinking.
No,
That'd
no,
be great. Let's do that.
no. No, you want to get paid when you bring back proof of like dead dragon or whatever.
Oh.
Not the dead crispy guy.
No,
Hmm.
he's not dead.
Yet.
Yeah, he'll probably bleed out or something. He's in a real bad shape. Like you can see half his skull. It's really bad.
Let's just kill him.
But the priest is with him. He'll save his soul and everything.
I want
But we only burn witches around here. We only kill
I want
witches
to
around
see
here.
anyway.
I feel like I want to see the crispy guy.
Right, when you're
Yeah,
ready
Shall
to, solve a very urgent problem that is, time pressed and everything because fucking dragon.
Look, we want to see this guy,
So
and
then
if
we
the
know.
village burns a bit, it burns a bit.
Also, if we turn up and see this guy is crispy and think, nah, not for me.
Well, then you're not going to get paid, are you? But we drafted you in specifically on we even sent our fastest horses to bring you in.
Right?
But maybe.
Look,
this
we need a
crispy
fucking dragon killed. Are you gonna do it or not?
Maybe this crispy guy, right? Hear me out. Maybe he knows stuff that we need to know before we go and take whatever this
Well,
thing
go and
is
talk to
then.
him then. Just let me know when you're ready, and I'll call
Right.
the hunter
Okay.
man, whatever the fuck his name is.
The
The one-
runaway,
Yeah,
the chicken.
the town hunter. I'll call him, and then you can head up the
You
valley.
employed a runaway as a town hunter.
Well, no, he didn't. There's no proof he ran away. He could just be very good at dodging dragon fire. Or one of them said it wasn't proper fire.
Then I
but-
wouldn't slate his name like that.
I upset him.
Mm.
Right.
You're
He
fucked.
just he kind of like awkwardly looks down at his hands and is like.
Also,
I'm not very good at talking to women who are taller than me, honestly.
or just generally.
Yeah. Right. Go and talk to.
Don't tell me what to do.
I can't remember his name. I'm just gonna call him Melty Face. Go talk to Melty Face and.
Let's go for Melty
Okay, let's go.
Okay. That building over there, and he just like points off to the side. There's just like a regular old house where the thatch on the roof is like slightly singed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As we're walking off, I'm gonna like turn back to you and be like, by the way, if we do kill the dragon, I'm having your belt. Just carry on talking.
And he just looks really confused. And then he just kind of like awkwardly sulks off into the tavern, which again, light
How we
singeing
call
on
him
the
Crispy Man?
crispy man. Who said that?
Crisp.
For fuck's sake.
Okay, let's go see Crispy Man.
Okay, so you head towards this building again with the light singeing, and you go in, and before you even arrive there, you can hear this weird, like, almost Gregorian chant, just this religious ramble under this, like, priest's breath, but, like, very deeply. And you walk in, and there's the guy lying in bed straight in front of you as you head in. It's kind of split into two parts of the room, but, like, the walls don't meet completely in the middle. There's a very open centre, but you can see him in the back, and he's just groaning and writhing, and he's not in a good condition. Like, you can see that there's a pair of boots where one of them had clearly like melted and has got like skin hanging off the edge of the boot, just like a big lump of flesh, and you can see that his foot is just basically bones. The right side of his face is all just melted. His eyes is completely just swollen over. He looks really, really rough and is just groaning incoherently.
Don't know if it's worth it.
I'm gonna go talk to him.
Anyone who's got blown to bits by a dragon, say aye.
Way.
So I just walk up to him and say,
Okay, the priest is like slightly startled and just goes, I shall give you a moment with the soon to be departed.
Crispy
okay,
Man.
great. Hey,
And he just walks off and the guy is just like,
Let's stop you bitching. We got stuff to do.
this guy just got
So-
melted by dragonfire and you're just like, quit being a bitch.
Stop you bitching. This is what we're gonna do. Right. People are saying it was a wyvern or dragon. What is it? Look, you crispy fucker. Tell us what's going on.
He's like, I don't know the difference between them.
That's
and then
enough
you
right
realise
now.
like his mouth is like starting to like sag at one side where the skin is like slightly like folded over and melted.
Okay, well since you're gonna be departed soon, and you're not very
Wait,
much
what?
help,
What? He's like really confused at the fact you just told him he's gonna die.
you're gonna
Like,
die.
the priest has been telling him this whole time, he's like, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine. And now he's like, what?
The priest lies. First rule.
Priest lies.
Second
The
rule.
priest's lie.
Second rule. What have you got for us in your house?
What?
Basically, bitch, I'm mugging you.
okay, I'm not mugging you. I was gonna say that if you can tell us
Make an
some good
investigation check.
information, I would give you half of the gold that I get, so that you can hopefully
Really?
fix that melty kind of weird face you got.
My face is melted. What? And he just like lifts his hand up. You can see his middle finger is like completely just gone.
I feel like
And
there's
it's
no
just
help
like-
for him.
And he starts like having an outright like panic attack.
Mhm.
Like straight up, you just trigger his PTSD. He's freaking out.
Okay, I think we're done here. Let's go, guys.
I would add 6.
6. Okay, there are various like wicker baskets and stuff, but it's just kind of filled with
Skin.
slightly stale
You
bread.
take the basket.
Slightly stale bread. Oh yeah, like you know in Elder Scrolls where you go to pick something up and you accidentally pick up the plate and everything rolls away.
Okay,
Um,
so crispy
yeah,
man.
it's just like slightly off food.
No wonder you're ill. And then she just
Ill.
walks out.
Just melted a guy like.
But that is
It's like, you're ill.
disgusting.
Yeah. Bye.
Right, so you go back outside of this little hut, and standing in the where you just were is Torvald, but he's standing there with a very slender elven man. That's one for you.
Also, fuck another
A very slender elven man, and he's in like a red brown leather, but it's like everywhere. You know when someone wears too much of quite a loud colour and the outfit's hard to look at? Very much like that. It's just very red brown leather everywhere. It's like denim on denim, essentially. And he's got this.
Never trust a double denim.
Yeah, he's got a
Just
very
saying.
like a very intricate bow strapped to him, which is, you know, well crafted to be fair. And then some shoddy little sword off to his side, and he's like visibly shaking and looks like he's just seen a ghost.
Is this a chicken?
Oh, for God's sake.
Torval goes, right, yes, here's Esketh. Say hello, Esketh. And he's just like, oh, hello.
Yes, Keith.
Oh, winged horror.
Yes, chicken.
And he looks at Torvald and he goes, please don't make me go. And he's like, go on, take them up the valley, show them what happened, do everything you did before, but this time don't run away. And he's like, I didn't run away. I'm just very lucky. He's like, go on, off you pop. There's, you know, a fucking dragon.
Rolling in
Or
fact,
something.
my friend.
I don't think anyone realises that this thing could fly down the valley at any moment and fucking kill us all. Hello? There's 750 gold in it for you. Go on.
Alright, keep
Look.
your belt on.
You.
I will.
How come you haven't killed it yourself, you short little fuck?
Do I look like someone who could take on a fucking dragon?
No. So shut the fuck up while we do. And she just wanders off. And then she's like, shit, I don't know where I'm going.
Make an
Yeah,
intimidation check for me.
It's okay, me and you might just go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
I mean,
9?
Okay, so it's at this point Esketh starts like shaking even more and he's like, I don't want to take them, please, don't make me go with them. And he just like starts having very clear, like he's having a panic attack, he's hyperventilated, and like he saw some shit up in the valley. Like this guy is messed up and you've just made it way worse. Like way worse. I did like a counter roll against you and you rolled a 2, so you could have pretty much scared the shit out of him regardless. Yeah, there's like a strange whiff in the air. It's like it could be the peasants, it could be the town, could be this specific peasant in this town, but someone has shit themselves. there's like the smell of burning corpses, shit, and just like burnt houses and wood
Just like-
and straw. It's just smoky with a hint of poop.
Um,
It's like cloudy with a chance of meatballs, but worse. Yeah. So
and Neil just kind of looks at you and she's like, have you shit yourself?
I don't know. Maybe. She just kind of reaches around the back and goes, "No, we're good."
There we go. See? One plus.
Yeah.
1 plus.
Right. I guess I better lead you up the valley then. Okay, follow me. And he just like slowly plods on ahead, holding onto the bow, like shaking violently. And he's just like, you know, when someone, like kind of like a baby deer, where they're just trying to figure out their legs and it's very wobbly. He's trying to walk in a straight line and he's like this. He may as well be drunk. This guy cannot use his legs to save his life at the moment. He's very afraid.
I can just imagine you being like, walk straight, man. What's the matter with you?
So, just before you leave town, is there anything that you think you might need for the journey? Bear in mind, it's not a massive town, but there's enough
And it's
places
been like
around.
burnt, hasn't it?
Yeah, half the town is burned, to be fair. But it was mostly like domiciled.
I'm going to ask Shitman for speed. No.
Esketh?
Yes, thank
Right.
you. I forgot his name. I was like, oh shit, I can't see what it is. What do you think we're going to need?
He kind of calls back and goes, I don't know, maybe some rope? Swords? They'd probably help. Maybe a bow or 2?
Being funny.
And he's like going, I don't know, what do you normally take when you do this sort of thing?
Not chickens.
Has anyone got rope, by the way?
Oh no.
Me.
Anyone go, huh?
Rope.
Oh, I thought you said rubber something. Has anyone got a rubber duck? No. So yeah, like, if there's any, you've probably got what you need, but I mean, just in case there's any gaps, like, don't worry about gold. It's a one shot.
Mhm.
With the sister.
Okay.
Okay, we good?
Yeah.
To head off?
Mhm.
Right, so Esketh just goes, right then, after me, follow along. And he starts leading you up the valley. It's relatively simple. There's kind of 2 paths you can take, one each side of the river. There's few bridges in between. Most of them are just kind of like felled logs that have just been makeshift thrown across the river. It's quite a walk. You're looking at, bear in mind it is dawn, you've got plenty of the rest of the day left, but it is a good 3-hour walk to the top of the valley. It's quite a way. So
Why don't we have a cart?
well, it's kind of hard to take a cart up the valley, honestly. It's quite a narrow path. I mean, unless you have horses.
No.
But even then,
What the bet I do? And then whistle. I got whistle.
Roach comes along from the Witcher. He's like glitching through walls. Damn it, Roach! Has anyone said anything important?
Chris has just said, which one of you cowards shit my pants?
He shit in his red leather assless chaps.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, Anila's really put off by the fact that he's wearing this horrible clothing, because hers are like really nice,
Yeah.
like quite, you can tell that she's been out, but she's got really nice clothing on, like it's very clean, but still kind of bits of loose and things. But typically she's used to seeing elves
Wow.
really glam, and this one is just like, what?
Yeah, this guy's just like your bog standard pleb. To you, he like, you think he may even be slightly like half elven or have some
Yeah, like
human in
he's
his lineage.
long.
He doesn't look quite regal enough, quite
Yeah.
elegant enough. There is something plebby about
I
him.
feel like that's why she's talking to him like shit, because she's just like,
Yeah,
you're
she
not what I
sniffed
mean.
out the human a mile
yeah,
away.
you're not me. You're not what I mean. You can go over there.
Whoa, what is it with you and racist characters?
Something in me, I suppose.
I'm just role playing.
Yeah, everything's fine. There's nothing to do now. No, she's just, well, she's an old noble, so
Yeah.
she's not now, but she was. So
She was born into nobility.
So now she's just like,
Yeah, so this
dirty
guy.
elf.
But you realise that once you start walking up the valley, that this outfit is practical more than fashionable, because a lot of the trees, because there's a huge like plethora of various species of plants and animals everywhere. Just this place is very rich, but there's a lot of trees with like almost like a redwood trunk, so it easily enough he could be mistaken like at a distance for just being amongst the trees. And there's quite like a red clayish earth beneath your feet, so again he could just lie down in it and basically be
No one would say his
undetected.
assless chaps.
Maybe that's how he escaped. Maybe he did run. Who knows?
So did you run?
Well, after the whole attack thing, me and
Crispy?
shit. Yes, I can't remember his name. I
Crispy.
don't know him that well. He was a soldier. Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Kind of. His face is a bit melty, but
It's kind of seeping off.
yeah.
You do look rather I can't think of the word.
Unscathed.
It was in my head. No, when they look untouched.
Unscathed.
As a one.
You
look-
went
And skull.
it just like left my brain. It's like, yeah, that.
Well, I kind of took pot shots at the thing from the bushes, and then when, as you say, Melty Face ran away,
Crispy.
Crispy, I went with him back to the town.
Oh, so you're blaming the dead guy?
Well, you just said he's not dead.
Or ish.
What, like
on,
zombie?
on the borderline.
Are we talking undead? Do we have to go back and kill him?
I mean, you can if you want.
No, he's okay. Although I did think of a really good name for him, Crispin.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, yeah.
She's such a sarcastic little bitch. She's like, funny.
Oh god, right. I wasn't ready for this.
I found it funny.
I wasn't
I
ready for
feel
this
like
at all.
Ken is gonna cry because
Yeah, I'm,
just
I'm
Oh,
sorry
man.
for all that pushed into your
No, it's fine. It's just-
NPCs.
Today is two lots of D&D is stressful.
yeah.
No one cares, carry on.
Yeah, but you're still like you're doing great. So whatever.
Right. Anyway,
No.
Plus, you're playing with 3 people that have no fucking idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
not
saying.
fucking idea what I'm doing.
There we go. 4.
So the first part of the journey is relatively uneventful. I don't know if you want to do anything along the plod. It's essentially just walking alongside a river for Yeah.
Convince him to call up a tree and then leave him
Is there a fish
there.
in the river?
Intimidate him to call up a tree.
Make a nature check.
I'm just going to be talking to the runaway.
Okay.
Still just kind of like, so did you run?
No, like I said, I went when Crispin, as you called him,
Mm.
ran. Is that his name? That seems
Yeah,
awful cruel.
Crispin.
It's a bit ironic, isn't it?
Is it-
14 for nature check.
Okay, you outright just spot, like, there's a type of salmon swimming upriver as you go. So
Okay, because I have lightning abilities, can I try and shock the fish?
right thing. Yeah, crack on. Why not?
Cool. Okay.
I feel like this is going to be a horrible D&D session. We're just gonna
So will I still have to
awful.
roll d20 to see if I hit?
Just has to be
Yeah.
dicks.
What kind of was it? Just like a
Breath weapon.
breath weapon.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, you could have just blown the breath. You don't even
Yeah.
have to roll. I need to make
Oh,
like
right.
a save.
Okay.
Right. Lightning is a 30 by 5 foot line, and then they need to make a dex save.
Yes.
Could a
The-
salmon even make a dex
Fish?
save?
Ah.
I think the water is definitely going to obscure us slightly.
It would just cause it to arc through.
I mean, like the fish vision.
Oh, the fishing. Right. Okay. Do I roll fuck it. I'll roll a dex check for the fish. I think it's fried. You just like walk up to the river's edge. There's one that just jumps out. You just go, and there's just one huge like ball of lightning that strikes the fish mid-air and sends it to the opposite bank, kind of like slowly flopping. But it could just be convulsing from electric shock, and then just lies still.
I can just imagine.
There's a
you,
fried
talking
fish
to
the other side of that
Christina.
river now.
Not Christina.
Cool.
So-
Can I get across the river?
No, you've just passed the bridge, so you can.
Esther?
It's like a
Esther.
minute detour,
Talk
so you can
to
just
Okay.
go
I'll
across.
just
and
go
grab-
around
Well, that
and
happens.
grab him, bring
Yeah.
it back round then, and just. Anyone else for 8-year-old? No.
Good, thanks.
Okay, cool.
Lightning fish.
And she's and it was just
I
gonna
don't think
kind
that's
of
an option in the inventory, but I mean,
lightning
you
fish.
could
you
custom
go
item
for
it.
She's gonna look at Eskith and just be like, if you run, that might be you.
Yeah.
He looks at the fish in your hands, looks up at you, and is like. He kind of like slowly like raises his hands to his bowstring and just like adjusts it. He goes, follow on, what's that? Starts walking. This guy has had a really fucking rough week, and you've just made it way worse. Like he's just watched people being mauled to death by some winged beast, and you're just bullying him.
I'm not employed to be nice.
Big true. It's like fate. So it's not long after shit, what's her name? Deb blasts the fish. I won't count that as a lightning breath, like, because normally it's like a once per short rest, but
Damn.
I won't. That's just fun. Like you just fried a fish. I'm not gonna make you spend your entire breath weapon fucking pinning a fish. That I even made a dex save for.
I love how you didn't know that he would do that though, so you were just like, I'm gonna spend it on shocking the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. You're like, I always find it weird that dragons can only like do the thing once a day. It's like you're a dragon, just do the thing, whatever. Fuck it. But yeah,
OP
so
though, otherwise.
it's after a short while that you can hear, almost like some sort of screaming in the distance, back from where you came, like on the wind, and Esketh is first to spot it because he turns around and you can see him visibly shake, and from the town you can see this wyvern or dragon or whatever, you can't quite make out where it is, what it is at the moment, flying down over the town and doing essentially another strafing run on it, and there's just these huge like explosions from a barn that was clearly harboring some sort of like black powder, because nothing would explode like that normally, possibly even oil, but huge explosions, big thick black billowing smoke, like really obscuring most of what you can see down the valley, and it's heading up the valley towards you guys. And it's at this point Eskith kind of just stops dead. He just stops shaking, stops whimpering, everything. He's just frozen in complete fear. And this wyvern is heading straight towards you guys.
Yeah, I was just like watching it with like wide eyes and being like, well, I'm glad we left that village when we did.
Oh, it's
now
heading
it's-
towards you pretty
Yeah,
quick.
and now it's coming towards
Yeah.
us, just be like,
I'm gonna
take
push
cover.
Eskith into the grassy bit.
Okay.
Like,
Off the
just
path.
as like
Yeah.
get in and then just hide as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Make a stealth check. Ooh, that's a perceptive Drake.
Natural 20.
Oh shit! You disappear. You just like you drop down like the other side of the path, like down towards the river, just kind of on this bank bit. And you just like the only you know, like a crocodile when it comes up above the water.
Mhm.
It's like that, but it's just you on the edge of the bank, just like it. Like it ain't seeing you. What did you guys say?
16.
I got 21.
Damn. Okay, so it spots you on Esketh, and it comes down, lands just off the path, rears up onto its back legs, now realizing this is a wyvern, for it has no front legs, it's just wings and legs. And it has this bronze red tone to its scales, and it has a very dark underbelly. Normally the underbelly on dragons would be light, but this is a particularly dark, like steel grey underbelly with like bronze over the top. And it looks up into the air, sprays a big blast of fire, picks up Esketh by the neck, pulls the body upwards, severing the head, catching the body in its mouth and flying away. And now Esketh's head is just seeping with blood as his tongue like lolls out the side, just right in front of your face where you're hiding by the bank.
Oh, I thought he was going to be like the hero, like, you know,
Oh.
coward until the last minute.
Oh. Right. Guys.
Thank fuck that weren't me.
You're
So
just
what
lucky
was
he
it?
rolled so low. Otherwise it wouldn't have been.
What-
I wouldn't have killed
what
him.
did
But
he
no,
roll?
the wyvern was particularly perceptive, but Esketh had a very low roll.
I had a 13, but then my my skill is +8. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
A very disappearing elf.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that just happened. So
It's just flown off with his corpse too. It's just a head in a silly little red leather cap.
Did you pick up one of them baskets?
Carry the head.
I was good. Did I bring a wake up? Did I pick up a wake up bag?
Didn't you say you were taking one?
I don't think you
Probably
did.
Chris-
it.
Crispy
No, I
man.
said for you to take
Oh.
one.
Damn it. I thought
You're
you
just
said-
standing there arguing about baskets. Like, did you bring a basket? No, did you? No, I said you bring the basket.
I reckon we leave it here on a stick and we come back and get it
okay.
on the way back.
What if someone takes it? Should we hide it?
What if someone
Take his
takes
severed head.
You never know. You
I don't know why I asked you that as a DM. Like, that's
I'm
That's
pretty
God says, what are you doing?
it's just this booming voice from the cloud. Why would anyone take it? And you shit. Hello.
outside of this game at the moment, I'm pretty sure if there was a severed head, like where we live, someone would take it.
Probably.
True.
Yeah.
It's true.
Fry up.
I'd take it if I seen it on the road and I'd be like, oh, new teeth. I feel like the head should stay here because we should take it back to Crispy Man and be like, this could have been you. Stop bitching.
Yeah.
Can I
Bullying the wyvern victims.
can I nick his bow?
He's eaten it. They've eaten
Oh,
it.
it went with it.
Oh, it
it
went
was
with
wrapped
it. It is
firmly
with
around
it.
everything bar his head and his hat.
Do you know what
went
would look good
with
on
it.
you? That hat.
There's also a large pool
I
of
don't do
blood on the
hats.
floor, but I mean you can't take the blood, so
Can I not?
With blood and
I
arrows.
mean
Straws.
maybe you could get a drop or two off the grass.
Okay, well, chicken was useless.
Yep. I guess we
More
just have to.
importantly, are the people in the town still alive to give us that money? Because if not, I'm not killing no dragon.
Yeah, well, that dragon's just gone back up there,
or
so
wyvern.
wyvern, wherever.
From where you can see, it seems to be the town is split into several parts, and it was like the farming part that got hit.
Okay.
Like it went back for the rest of the crops and the barn,
Okay.
but the town centre then seems
But
to be
Tuval's
weirdly
not farmer, is
unscathed.
he?
Huh?
Tuval?
Torvald.
He's not farmer. is he?
Torvald? Torvald. I was in a lecture about Linus Torvald when I wrote this, so I was like, Torvald, too obvious. Torvald.
But he's not a farmer, is he?
No, he's like, he may have been
It's
back in
fine,
the day, but
it's
now
alright.
he's kind of like makeshift mayor. The other one may or may not have
But
been
he's
big.
not now
What?
a farmer.
No,
You be
he's
alright?
fine.
Also,
We're gonna get our money. It's
we
fine.
get his money, and I'm sure that fire is not going to melt his belt.
Melty melty.
Melting belt.
It Dragonfire. If there's one thing that's going to melt like a standard copper or bronze belt, it's probably going to be a Dragonfire.
Nah. Not that.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Does it?
Fuck me, am I right?
So we're gonna just.
Anyone said anything in boys?
It's actually a what
What the hell is that?
Howven.
As opposed to a wyvern. Boo! Bad joke. Howvern, Watvern, wyvern.
No.
Staring dead into the camera.
Dear me.
No!
I don't know.
I'm filing for a divorce! That's not what you sound to me, by the way.
I sound like a really
That's
bad
not my
mom.
impression of you. You sound a bit like one of the bloody Bouvier sisters from...
Selma.
Yeah.
Okay, so are any of us gonna know? Like, I'm not gonna know anything because I'm 20. I'm a baby. But like, is anyone gonna know anything about why his belly is a funny colour?
If it's going to be anyone, it's probably going to be the Dragonborn.
Okay.
Roll a nature check. Yeah. I was thinking between like Arcana, History, Nature.
9.
9? Okay, you've not really seen this type of scale before. Like, it seems uncommon. Like, very uncommon. Very weird. What? No, she rolled a 9! Also, I haven't thought of it. But I'm good at pulling things out my ass!
So
But
should we just follow this wyvern thing and just get it?
Wow.
You know,
Sounds like a
Yeah.
plan.
rough it up, give it a bit of.
Give me the other one too.
You've got such a personality.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries. Okay, yeah, let's go.
You just head in further up the path. Just walking up the path.
I'm gonna like kick the head into the grass a bit more so we can come back and get it.
Sleep tight.
Do me a favour, make a strength check.
Damn it!
No, just.
No, LPH.
8.
8? Okay, as you go to kick it, you kind of like stumble a bit, like you slip on the blood. You kind of awkwardly punt it, and it just kind of goes way further than you expect.
Yep.
And it's just like gone. It's just fallen in a bush somewhere.
Shit.
Oh, there it goes.
Nah, more use that way. Keeps the blood over there.
Yeah.
Rip.
There's,
Let's go.
there's still like a huge like blood pile on the floor where he was literally just decapitated.
I'm like, because you know when I said at the beginning like about my fascination with elves, I
Yeah.
didn't mean like don't be a weirdo about it. It's just that like
It's not a sex thing.
it's just like I've always like kind of been. See, I nearly said aroused then instead of interested.
Must be aroused by elves.
Said
By,
fucking
like-
ears.
By just like their law,
It
and,
does
like,
things to my loins.
just being like interested by their law and stuff like that, and like how they've always been perceived as like triumphant and brave kind of thing.
Is
But,
it more
that's
like you want to be like
kind of, yeah, but like it's that's kind of upset me of how unbrave you are, sort of thing. So it's like so I'm kind of being a Debbie Downer at the moment.
Whereas I'm like, no, that's
But
not
I
that.
love her. I'm like, yes, this is the elf I read about.
There she is.
That one specific elf that I read in a 400-year-old book, even though she's 20?
Shut up, Ken.
So,
Okay, so we're just gonna carry on walking.
okay.
I think I'm gonna hide in the trees a little bit and just kind of sneak around and.
Okay, make another stealth check for me, please.
Natural 20.
Fuck. Alright. Yeah, you basically there's kind of like a brush, like a bracken type thing alongside the path, and it's at this point you start entering. It's not like a forest by any means, but there's a lot of like not saplings, but not trees. Kind of like a halfway point where they're tall enough to obscure a person, but they're not fully grown trees. There's like enough of them that so you kind of just slink into between them, and like even she just completely
Yeah.
loses track of where
I'm
you
literally just gonna go.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Why me?
Bye.
Okay.
are. Funny innit? So yeah, you just
Bye.
disappeared into the
And I
trees.
just wander
Yeah.
off into the trees. I'm a wood elf as well, so.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's your
Is that
high elf.
a high elf?
Oh yeah, sorry. No.
I am a
I
wood
think
elf,
I
high
got-
elf, dark
No,
elf.
I am a wood elf on this bit, so I got the high elf wrong.
Okay, so you're a wood
I'm a
elf,
wood
but
elf.
with like weird, super pale, almost blue skin.
Mm. Yeah,
Cool.
A drow shagged a tree. Ta-da!
essentially.
Tree beards like
Yeah.
hobbits.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
I said high
you,
elf.
you
That was my.
slunk off into the brush.
Mhm.
Are you two doing anything?
I
Are you just
suggest
gonna
you
follow
hide.
the path?
And it's, yeah,
I
just
know.
following past,
Yeah.
just
Alright,
carrying
so you
on.
just stop it. So up ahead there's kind of a. Actually, make a perception check, all of you, for me, please.
Oh, shit.
Just giving information away. That's not how this game works. That's my problem. I just want to tell everyone everything.
Yeah.
It's like fuck the checks.
8.
8, right?
I had 2 on my dice roll, but I've
16.
got a +6, so.
Okay.
11.
Right. So, Razhiri hears up ahead. It's like a low growling, and it sounds like wet gnashing, as if something might be eating.
Oh, I
meat.
hate that noise.
Wet gnashing.
Oh, that's
Mm.
really. Oh, I can hear it now.
Do you know what I hate? I'm just gonna say it. I hate people that eat with their mouth open. Really pisses me off. I'm one of those. So that's
I hate
already
it when
under my
people-
skin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
like
it sounds like that,
chewing
but it sounds a lot. It's like a big mouth that's eating it. It's like
That's even worse.
yeah.
It is. I once told a girl off because I could hear her eating an apple over a train.
Oh my god, how the fuck do you eat that loud?
I know. I just turned to her and I was like, "You're doing it
Right.
wrong."
Quick story time. Today, on the way home, on the way here from uni on the train, there's a man who sat next to me in a long black coat with a fedora on, but he genuinely looked Italian gangster from the 20s. Sat there with an umbrella like this, right? Very well sat, very well groomed beard, just sat there. And then he unscrewed the handle on his umbrella. And then I looked away briefly and I didn't see what he did. But then he kind of screwed it back up, but it's like, was it an umbrella sword?
Oh my
Or
god.
did he
It's
have a
like-
sword?
It's because you looked at him and you just did this.
Can I say, what is the point of that story? Why would you look
Did
away?
you mention train? I
No,
don't
but if
know.
Someone was
I don't know what it was.
unscrewing a cane.
No, but
Why would you
it was
look
like a
away?
double take. He started doing. I looked because I saw this motion, and then I did that, and I looked away, and then I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Okay,
Oh, he screwed it back up.
that's a terrible story.
It was weird. He was like a proper mobster looking
You
guy.
wound everyone up for nothing.
Yeah, but he was like a mobster. He sat next to me on the train, and I thought, well, this is it. Good luck streaming D&D tonight, guys. I'm there.
Chris said it's umbrella whiskey.
Maybe.
That's what I thought.
I did think when you said,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be
Is that a
little
thing?
in there.
Do people
And
put
also,
whiskey in their
apparently,
mouth?
Laura is so guilty of that. Not umbrella whiskey. I'm assuming eating with your mouth open.
I don't eat with my mouth open. I have very good acoustics in my mouth.
My face is perfectly shaped to amplify the noise of chewing.
That's my favourite excuse ever.
Good mouth acoustics.
My brother goes to me, I can't breathe through my nose. And I'm like, I'm going to break it. You won't be able to breathe.
Anyway, you can hear strange, sloppy, loud eating and grumbling. You can't tell if it's one or two separate sources of the noise because there's a slightly lower pitched grumble, but it could just be the same thing, just really enjoying its food. But you can't see anything for the moment.
Okay.
I just stop dead in my tracks, hear that, and I'm out. I'm not doing it.
I'm just going to continue wandering up towards it. How about, shall I wander up and have a look, guys? I'm talking quietly towards these two.
Just from the bush, there's a voice.
We're just like,
Every time we've done a one shot, there's been a voice from a bush.
Yeah.
We just need.
Bush voices.
Wait. Is that what Moses used? Is it just.
No, you.
Was it Abraham?
No,
One of
it
them.
was Moses. The bush was on fire.
Yeah, but I mean, was it just a man behind the bush and he rolled a nat 20 and he's just
Ah.
talking loudly?
Basically, it's Crispy Man
Why would he be in the bush if he's in it?
on
That's
fire.
not
Behind
getting
it.
nat 20,
It's going to be
yeah.
harder to see a man through fire.
Firebush. And then it's perceived as God. Basically, it's Crispy Man.
If he was behind you and I know why he rose left.
No.
I'd call that a nat one, to be honest.
No, that one would be being set on fire and screaming at Moses for help and then lighting Moses' robes on fire.
Or singeing your eyebrows off.
Do you reckon Moses was a druid too, like Jesus and Pocahontas and
Is it Charles?
Kevin Bacon?
Is it Charles?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it's Charles, Chris. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Yes.
That?
Oh, because he does bush hiding.
Oh yes, bush
Oh
hiding.
yeah, he does.
Bush
Ah,
Rider
I've
Kev.
got- yeah, he's got a t-shirt and
He
everything.
does,
Mm.
yeah.
He's a bush Wookie.
Okay, shall
Right,
I
so-
wander up ahead and see what I can see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so make another perception check for me, please. And I will do.
We like them today, don't know.
You have advantage.
That's 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh, 12.
12.
Oh wait, L. Do you know on the where's the dot go? Up or down?
Bottom.
Bottom.
There's a 6.
6. Right, so 12 total. Okay, so you start to creep towards the source of this noise. You can't really make anything out. But as you do, you step on like a twig. And you can just hear the chewing noise stop. There's a low grumble. And pushing out of like a series of bushes is something that has the face of a bird and the body of an ursine creature, also known as an owlbear. And you would know this, for owlbears are amazing and everyone knows what they are. So, yeah, owlbear, what'd you do? It's now like, it's probably about 10 feet away from you, but it's like,
Is it just a
How would I know
You know,
what it
wait.
is?
no, I'm saying like, it was a joke.
Oh, okay,
Owlbears
sorry.
are fucking great, never should know they are. Make a, again, nature check, I guess. You can see that there's a big bird face connected to a big bear. What was that?
Every time she's rolled, she's
9.
either at a 6 or a 9.
I got 10.
10? Yeah, you've heard of owlbears at least. Like
Okay.
you
What
don't know
do I-
necessarily this is definitely one, but there's a big bear looking thing with a bird's face. Chances are, owlbear.
Okay, what do I know about it before I do anything?
With a roll of 10, just that you've heard stories of owlbears in general. You know the name, and you know that people have been killed by them.
Chris is shouting run.
Run.
What language would it speak?
It's a fucking owlbear.
Well, I don't know
Bear
how.
It speaks
It speaks
raw. Language is dash.
Um,
It's a beast. It doesn't.
Oh.
You could use like speak with beasts or whatever the spell is called.
Oh.
Speak with animals maybe, but even then, I don't know. Does it speak owl? Does it speak bear? Is there a weird bastard language of the two? So yeah, you're faced with what you assume to be an owlbear from what you've been told, and it's just standing in the bush growling at you. You've got not long before something happens.
Okay.
Don't be like that.
I'm just saying this thing is ready to go.
I'm gonna run away, but like back to these and be like, "There's an owl bear. It's a bear owl thing."
Okay, this thing follows you, and I'd like all three of you to roll initiative, please.
Cool.
Bear owl thing.
Now the thing.
Also, we have a like a fighting map thing. Wait, what the fuck? How did I? Why can't I get that to line up? What did I
you just
do?
roll that?
Yeah, where?
Oh, there we go.
I know.
That's 2.
There we go. Right, so if
I
you
know
want to
I'm doing
put
shit
that
today, it's
in
not wrong with me. These are Robbie's
Yeah,
dice.
the
we'll
middle somewhere.
Rob, your dice are shit.
take the DM away.
No DM.
You just be.
Right, so if you place it down, I'll tell you where to place like a
I can't see that far. Sorry, Chris.
He says
It's something.
shit. Ow, whoops.
Tamsin. I don't think it's Tamsin.
Right, so
I had 7, so I'm gonna die. Already put that out there.
you came through this brush back down this way. So this is the riverside. It like cuts in quite sharply, and this is kind of just like thick bracken. But you kind of you would have come in from here. So you've run back to there where these guys are. There's like a small pond in the middle of the path, just like a large puddle essentially. The owlbear is currently about there, and if you all sacrifice a die, I'd say the percentage dice, like the D100, because they're never bloody used. Yeah, that's what I mean. No one even knows what they are. Right, so
No, I don't want that one. Oh yeah.
right, you'd
No.
be closer. Right, so I'll just kind of call out what you guys where you should move the
So
main.
you're not
line.
even like by us. You're like,
Yeah, there's a 20-foot gap between you and you're screaming, running towards
Just
it.
like a,
It's so
back
hard
up.
to get in and out of this bloody chair without knocking everything.
I know.
The cameras are probably wobbly AF.
I had to go past it the other day and I just like got stuck. I was like, oh.
No, this is my life
Oh,
now.
yeah.
This is where I live.
I stay here.
Right, so Owlbear. If you
Hi.
roll, if you roll initiative. He's a slow owlbear. So if you roll a roll,
Yeah.
anyone get more than 20? What do you get?
21.
Nice. What's your name? Rosiri.
See, Jess.
Oh, how could you forget me?
More than 10? Ooh. What did you get?
7.
I had 10.
Oh, okay. So next is Deb, then Enil, and then it's the owlbear, for he is slow. What I can't remember what bloody numbers he said. 10, 7, and he had very slow. Okay, so Rosiri responds first to seeing the visage of Enil running towards her, kind of going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, with this monstrous, like, half bird, half monster just bounding out of the bushes towards you. What you do?
I don't know if it's a friend.
Okay, run.
I need that on a button.
Yeah.
Just did it.
Oh, it's cat. Do you know if I have my bow, is there? I'm
What?
in the middle of cast, and if I just move up to Cass's way.
Oh no, there's no rules in D&D for pinging one off your mate. Like, you can shoot through them apparently.
Okay.
Basically, the idea is they standing in a 5-foot square.
Duck.
You can shoot, like, you can pass through the same 5-foot square as someone else as well. The idea is kind of like you just.
It just kind of does this.
It's not the biggest of spaces to be in, but it's enough that you can, you know.
And
But
just,
I'm thinking of in my main campaign having rules for like accidentally pinging a mate because that's just funny. You just have a really shit archer that keeps shooting you in the back.
So
so that's what I thought I was going
Whoops.
to be tonight.
No.
Because I didn't know about that rule. I guess I'm just gonna hit him with my bow.
Alright.
Or her.
So roll damage.
Do you want to gender him now?
No, not roll damage. Roll to hit. You got to do that thing first. Whoops.
Ooh. 27.
27.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
And plus 8 to hit.
And you got 90. Holy
19.
shit, son. Yeah, that hits him into next week. What do you mean?
Okay.
Right, roll damage.
8. Ooh, 6.
6 damage. Okay.
Do you know, because...
Go on.
Oh,
What?
no, don't worry. Can I attack again?
Have you got? Yeah, you're level 5. Yeah, you get a second attack action.
Do that thing I showed you earlier. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now,
Can I now?
yeah, now we will trigger because it's been damaged. It's below its max health, so yes.
Cool. Hang on.
The chair just squeaked and it sounded like a fart,
Okay,
but I didn't.
so I'm
Just in case the blue yeti picked it up, that was the chair. Look, I can repeat the sound.
So I'm gonna hit them with my bow again.
Chris said, I've
Uh-huh.
seen campaigns, including Critical Role, where a code accompanying or moving through the same space is prohibited.
Oh, is it? Oh, I've always said that you can't end on the same space as someone, but you can move through. I'll just play with that. And the only rule, if it's medium or below, so you can't move through the same space as like a large creature, because the owlbear is, I believe, large. Yeah, so technically you would take up like kind of the middle of 4 of those squares, so to say. So just you can't move through the same place as the owlbear, but you can, because all of you are medium or less, you can like nip through the next spot. I think that's only sensible, honestly. 5 foot is enough to move past someone. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we played it anyway. That's why I've always played it, and that's what I'll
And
stick
you're a
with.
DM.
Oh, by the way, what you can see there, the green crosses are the grass, where like basically every time you go through one of them, it counts as 10 feet, not 5 feet.
That's cute.
The black like circle things are just rocks that you can't pass through.
They look like puddles.
No, the big green one is a puddle.
No,
Yes, the big green one is a puddle.
it looks like oil puddles.
They're rocks. I've just coloured them in. Woman, swear to God.
Can I hit them again now?
I was waiting for you to roll. You said half hour ago.
I had an nat 20.
And nat 20.
Dead.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, that's a crit. Right, so roll your first damage dice.
Okay. 5.
5, so that's double to 10. Because it's a crit.
Okay.
Now roll that extra like bonus damage thing.
8.
So that's double to 16. So that's 26 plus what?
That's it.
Wait, not on the bow. The
I've
plus
already
damage.
added it. I already added it.
Oh, right. No. What did you roll on the first dice?
2.
2. Right, so that's double to 4.
Right.
And then you have 8 double to 16, so that's 20.
Right.
And now you add how much?
Plus 3.
Plus 3, so 23 damage. There we go.
Excuse me.
Blinking out.
So
Bless you.
Okay, so you loose 2 arrows. The first one kind of less impactful than the second, grazes past his shoulder, but your ranger training, shall we say, now that it kind of staggers just enough from the first shot, you hone in the second one and it jabs it right in like the jaw under the neck, and it like lets out a roar and drops. Wait, do owlbears roar or hoot?
Hoot roll.
they go.
Yeah, okay, that noise. Do it again.
Yeah, can we just have a look
Sounds
for
like
that?
an angry Pokemon.
That is definitely Kleepo.
That's an owlbear.
That's Kleepo.
No.
That's
an owlbear.
Kleepo, but
Right, okay,
owlbear.
so the owlbear makes that noise as it gets jabbed in the neck. And upon hearing that, a smaller owlbear comes out of the grass, knowing that the first one has been injured. I'm trying to find a different colour D6. God damn it. Hello?
Why is it always 2? Always 2.
Oh, bugger it.
Oh, is
Right.
it gonna go?
If
Can't
you
find D6,
pop,
never
if you
mind.
pop that, you see the grass closest to Cass?
Yes.
Put it like in the first block of grass. Like, yeah, there. So the other one kind of like rears his head through. It seems smaller than the first one. Either the first one is a male and that's the female owlbear, or the first one maybe the mother and this is this baby. We don't know.
Oh, don't make us kill the mother if the baby's watching, you sicko.
I'll do it.
Bambi all over.
So yeah, the second owlbear, like you can see it just coming out the grass. So is there anything else you want to do on your turn? Rizini?
I don't think I can do anything else.
You can move if you want to.
Oh, I can't. I've locked my phone. Hang on. There we are.
You said that on camera now. Everyone knows. Haha, fool. It's fine. No one can see me. I can pull all the stupid jibs I want.
No, I'm gonna stay where I am for now.
Just your face.
All right. Okay. So next is Deb.
Okay, so these 5 feet
Yeah,
each.
each is 5, except for the grass, which is 10.
Okay, so I can move 40 feet, so 5, 10,
Oh, yeah, a speedy one.
20, 25, 30, 35.
Cool.
Bonjour.
So you just
Okay.
run right up next to this owlbear.
Ah!
He's coming charging towards Inil, and you just have like this moment where you go running towards it to try
Yeah,
and
it
protect
literally
it.
just like runs past me as I'm running this way. It's like, oh,
Bye!
Oh man, that is not going to be good.
By the way, if anyone picks up on something like I've changed health amounts or changed armor classes or anything, I'm not saying specifically this, but I did in the last one. If anyone picks up on any changes, get over yourself. I change stat sheets sometimes.
So,
That's the wrong armor class. Yeah, I know. And more.
15 to hit.
That does hit.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
Okay,
It's a
use
big
my
old bit.
great axe. So,
It's great.
it is great. What do I want? 1d12.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Can I just go and get a pillow? My bum's gone to sleep.
It's horrible these shit, isn't it? Mine went to sleep the other day.
Not bad, isn't it?
That is
Number.
d12.
My favourite die. Underused. Basically exclusively barbarian dice. How
Oh,
much?
it's not
3? Did you say?
12.
12. Holy shit! What?
Well, so I get 1d12 plus 5.
Oh my god, 17 damage. Yeah, this thing is like bleeding out the side of its neck. It took quite a nasty, like a deep, meaty thwack right to the,
The
the upper,
joints.
yeah, just.
Okay.
Okay, I still get another attack now, right?
Yep.
So I have to roll again, yeah?
Yep.
To hit. So that's 18 to hit.
Does hit.
And 9 damage.
9 damage. Nice. Okay.
He's not bloody.
It's looking very. Oh no! Sorry, I forgot to mention he is bloodied. When I said he was like bleeding profusely out of his neck, I meant to say he is bloodied.
But you didn't.
I know, but I'm saying, he is.
Okay. It's my go.
Go for it, lad.
That's the mama ogre, innit?
Yeah. So if I move now
Mm-hmm.
and attack,
Yeah.
can I then move again and attack? I'm a rogue.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, I don't think it's even a specific rogue thing. I've
Just
always
do
said
it.
that you can have X amount of movement per turn, and the attacks don't have to be one after each other. They can be like move, attack, so go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna biff him. Biff! Where's
What, just punch or like
No, I'm gonna hang on.
shank him right in the
Can
Can you
mouth?
imagine her? She just whacks him with a great axe. She runs up, just punches him in the face.
He just drops.
I guess I'm gonna use my short sword.
Okay.
What do I do?
Roll to
1d6.
hit.
I'm gonna do this one first, aren't I? Oh,
What is that?
that one.
Roll again.
15.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. You bring out the short sword, and with like one swipe, you just miss Deb's face. You miss the bait entirely, and just get it like stuck in the ground. And this thing's just like looking back up at you. You're like, hello. But yeah, your short sword is kind of momentarily stuck in the ground.
Okay.
So to remove it from the ground, I would say bonus action, unless you have another sword.
I do.
Okay,
I have
so
a
just
dagger.
just pull out it instead. But that's going to be stuck in the ground until you do something to get
Okay.
it.
So I just need to roll to hit again, yeah?
Yes. Is that another one?
6.
6 plus what?
Your dagger. To hit.
5. 11.
11? Just misses.
Bastards.
So you drop the first one into the floor, kind of gets stuck in the because it's quite like the thick clayish mud, like I said. So you're like, oh shit, what do I do? Pull out the little dagger, lunge towards his face, and it just like
Do you have to?
it like shrinks into its own body to just dodge you.
So is the sword stuck now, or can she now move it?
I would say a bonus action to pull it out.
But
Or
what
can she do
about
that now?
the...
No, because she's used a bonus action to secondary
Can I
attack.
use my sneak attack?
No, that's if
Is that
you.
my bonus attack? If I
That's
hit?
if you hit something. Yeah.
I didn't get a sneak attack on the dog. Who's against?
Although now you do have a second attack action because
Hang on, I thought that was her second attack. So
no, she used a bonus action to secondary
To
attack.
pull
So
my-
now she has a regular attack left, like one more attack, but it's gonna have to be with a dagger because the other one's like stuck in the
Okay.
floor.
Dagger it is.
That's not how it works in the book, guys. But again, it's fun. Go away.
17.
Okay, that hits.
Fuck you, bird. Right, okay.
Bird, babe, what are you?
Bird,
Fuck.
babe. Blade, whatever. This thing in
Bird,
Yeah.
bird.
5 damage.
Nice. Okay, so you kind of like. Oh, hang on. How much is that left? There we go. It dodges its head back out to the first one, but as it kind of resets its head position, you just slash backwards on the way
Mm.
and just nick his cheek just under his eye, and it looks like it's like crying blood. It's very emo.
Okay.
Like,
But now I can do my sneak attack, can't I?
Ah, right, yeah. You basically that attack,
Yeah.
because there's no other enemies within 5 feet of you two, and Laura's already engaged it. Just roll the damage of the sneak attack on top of that already. Like,
Okay.
basically, the idea is this, because you've hit
So
it.
I just roll this again, essentially. Is that right?
Uh,
no,
what-
hang on.
was it
attack
D-
is like D6.
D6 is it? It
So
should
I
say
roll
for
my
your level.
D6.
I don't know if it is leveled up or not
Oh
because
yeah,
you're level 5.
1d6.
Check on your.
It says there 1d6.
Yeah,
for
but
sneak
check
attack.
at the bottom of the sneak attack. In brackets, it may say that it levels up at certain levels. Like you get a D8 at level whatever.
1 per turn, you can deal an extra 3d6 damage.
3. Shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, when you level up, you get more D6. That's what it is. So roll a D6 3 times.
4, 5, 8.
8 more. That's beefy damage. So yeah, that slash, even though it was only like a cheap little swing, you've caught enough of its eye that it's like drooping, and it possibly even blinded in the one eye. Like that hurt a lot. So now, after being absolutely minced, it's gonna just rear up onto its back legs and try and slam down onto Deb.
Let's do that
One
again.
is beaten. Right, okay. 17 to hit.
I think that hits. Yes, it does.
Ooh, okay. Where's that one? That's gonna be 9 slashing damage.
Okay.
And after it comes back down off its back legs and slams down onto you, it lunges its head towards Emil. For that's caught. Fuck's sake. Crit fail. Roll a 1. Yes, they still do it. Okay, 17. So even though it misses you, it just headbutts straight back into Deb. Soz. Where's the bloody dice gone? There we go. Oh. That's gonna be 16 damage. I rolled the beak and the claw attacks the wrong way round, like the damage, the wrong ones. So, again, rules lawyers in the chat, bugger off. You're not fun for anyone. Go away. Right, okay, so that's a lot of damage. And then it's friend who actually rolled to come in at the top of the round, so basically back to the top of the round.
What did it roll in?
What?
What did it roll in?
It had. Oh no, wait, no, it's below you. Sorry, it's below you. So it's back to Rosaria, and then it's the.
Take you off your game today, but
This is. I've been playing for hours.
so you should be good at it by now.
That's not how it works. No, I had a 17. I forgot you had a 21. Okay, so it's back up to Rosaria.
So are we not? So you did say that we're not doing the shooting arrows through. We can shoot through.
Yeah, don't worry about people
Okay.
for now. I just said in the campaign that I eventually do, maybe I'll have it so that there's like accidentally hit your friends. On like if you miss, there's a chance that you can hit them. Oh, like a necromunda.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit him with my bow again.
Cool, go for it.
This one.
Yeah.
Or should I go for this one? No, I'll go for this one.
Yeah, that one hasn't even moved.
Yeah.
It's shitting itself. It's
So
watching us kill his mum.
yeah.
Don't talk about
Or a
that.
husband. Like I said, it could be a male and a female, or it could just be like a baby.
19 to hit.
Yep, it's
Uh,
it's hard, dude.
11 damage.
11.
Yeah.
How do you want to kill him?
Oh. I'm literally just gonna like call to Deb and Emil,
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, guys, and then kind of just shoot my bow and hit him right between the eyes. I
Right.
really pointed someone else and I'm looking in the eye.
Right, so
Stick on those eyes.
the arrow goes whistling between the two, spinning as it goes, hits it straight between the eyes, and it essentially like slumps down to the point where its legs go like completely out to the side, like all 4 legs have just spread eagled. It's now just lying flat on its stomach, and the small one, seeing this, rushes forward 40. Wait, how far does 40 feet take it? Over the rock, just jump it.
Well, that's 5, isn't
Yeah,
it?
counted as 5. It's big enough to just clear it.
There. Ish. Yeah. So that's
So
10.
maybe 5,
20,
10, 15, 20,
30,
25, 30,
40.
35, 40.
Okay. Okay, never mind. It comes around to the back of Enil.
So this in your
Not
hand?
Enil, of yeah, Enil. No, move it like backwards behind the purple dice. Yeah, there. And it's gonna basically just try and bite a big chunk.
He's backstabbing you and you're the rogue. Sort it out.
Bring it on, you little bitch.
Ooh, that's gonna be. Wait, what's it get to hit? 15 to hit.
Hits.
Boom. That's the beak. The bloody. 12 piercing damage. And then it's gonna take just a wild swing at Deb. It kind of just lashes out. That's gonna be 12 to hit.
Miss.
Ooh, misses. Okay, so what armor are you wearing? Can you remember?
Let me see.
Just want to know if it's metallic or not.
I don't think I have any armor on.
Oh wait, no, you're a barbarian. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so it takes a swing at you. It's kind of like a backhand more than anything, and its nail like scags on one of your scales, but just like pings off the top of it, and you just don't feel it at all. It barely touched you, and then I think that's all I can do at the moment. So yeah, that's gonna be. Oh shit! Whose turn? Deb's turn.
No, Deb says she just had
Oh, she- oh, right,
killed the.
I see. Okay.
They thought it was my turn.
Ah,
It's
no, Deb.
Deb's turn.
Me. So I'm gonna go in with
Bye-bye.
my great axe again.
Oh no, you gotta stay there in case you want to loot them.
So this is dead.
Yeah.
That's dead, that's the one alive.
Oh right. Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of
cool.
like caught you on the shoulder as you like turn around to see what was going on.
Okay. Cool. So I can still attack this one from
Yeah,
here.
yeah, you're within
Okay.
5 feet.
It's like 24
You
to
hit.
hit.
That's plenty.
And 1d12. 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 damage.
Oof. Get smacked, kid. Right.
Cool.
Go again.
Go again. That's not so good. 14 to hit.
Yeah, that does hit.
Oh, sweet.
You're trying to keep track of his ace in
Oh,
and it's like, it
6.
keeps getting lower, yay. What?
6 damage.
6 damage? Nice. Okay, so next, after you bring the axe down and crack it like right in the front, like paw, essentially, kind of like the equivalent of its forearm, it's going to be Enil's turn to step up and give him the shank.
She just turns
Remember,
around.
your short sword is still stuck in the ground at the
I'm
moment.
just gonna leave that there for now.
Alright, cool.
Turn around and just be like, hi. Okay, let's go.
I was gonna say, you have enough damage from the sneak attack.
Mark
in you.
20.
Oh, double sneak attack! Ouch! Because I do it that all dice rolls are doubled. Like the bonuses from other stuff aren't, but dice rolls are. So
Okay.
Should technically finish him off in this then.
Let's hope.
should do.
Right,
It's
okay.
roll
So,
ones the entire way around now.
so I need to do my D4 first of all.
Yes. Right. Shoot.
No,
Oh.
that's a d6.
That's, yeah. Sorry, thank you.
It's because you rolled a 4 on it.
Oh,
Laura,
is
you
it?
jinxed
Oh,
it.
is it a 1?
Plus 4 though.
Plus
Right.
2, 3.
No, wait, no, but the 1 is less than half the dice because it's a crit. rounds up and then doubles, so that's 4 flat damage.
Okay.
And then plus what?
Plus 2.
Okay, plus 2, so 6 to
6,
start with, and then do
Six.
3d6 and double it.
Jesus Christ. Okay. 3, 6. 18.
Yeah.
28. damage.
28?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect lethal. You just take this dagger and you thrust it just so hard up under its chin that it goes like under the beak into the fleshy bit, kind of into its neck. You drive it up through the skull. You can hear several layers of crunching as it goes through. You can see the moment it hits its brain because its eyes just drop. Its body just lies limp and slumps forward, and you've now just got this, what does look like an infant owlbear just suspended on the dagger as it's kind of like completely impaled in your hand. As
Aw.
blood seeps down your arm.
Just gonna pet it. Like,
Oof. Brutal. I can't believe that was perfect lethal. Fuck me. Right, so
so
that's a
it's
pair
dead.
of dead owlbears.
Okay. I'm gonna pull my dagger up and just like so
Okay.
just kind
Don't forget your sword.
of, yeah, and now I'm gonna
Yeah.
pick my sword
I was gonna
up.
say that it's covered in like this weird gunky red clay that's like you can rub it off but it's kind of like awkward. You know those ones where you start cleaning something and it just smears it and then you keep going and it just keeps moving the dirt around. It's just kind of annoying.
I'm gonna rub it on one of the
Owlbear's cups.
owlbear corpses.
Rude. Very fair enough.
Just like
Do you
butter
wanna-
it.
Do you want
butter
to turn
it.
that camera back around for now?
Yes.
Basically, I'm just gonna butter it with the
Butter an owlbear with mud.
mud. Yeah.
Is it still buttering though because it's not butter? Also, can you butter bread if it's... I can't believe it's not butter.
Margarine in it.
Margarine and
Margarine.
This weird.
I'm gonna check
Oh,
if they've
yeah.
got anything on them.
Okay, I'll make an investigation check. I keep doing this.
Might
I'm
as
just
well.
like I'm going to give people things. Because you mentioned it before, she's rolled cast roll with advantage because Rusiri is helping you.
What is it plus what? Initiative.
Investigation.
Jesus Christ.
There are so many numbers.
No, it phone's best out.
All
Yeah,
right.
it did. It was like. Wait, what? No? Investigation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 19. I had 18.
Okay, roll again just in case you get even higher. Nope. Okay, so the owlbears themselves don't have anything, but the larger one has a relatively. Oh my god, like, that doesn't sound right in my head now. Fresh, like stab wound. So the blood is still, pouring out of that wound, slowly starting to crest over, but you know that none of you hit it. Right there, but there's nothing on the owlbears themselves.
Okay.
Unless you want to skin it for his pelt, but then you
I
have to
love
carry
skinning
around
things,
like...
you know this.
Yeah.
It's like when we
Oh my
killed
God.
the bear in the first one and I just carried
Nippers-
the bear around with me.
Nippers would kill to be here right now.
If you
Because he would just be skinning them both and he'd be like, ah,
You
leather!
can, maybe we'll go for it because we killed an owlbear as well as a wyvern.
Yeah, but then we gotta carry it. We gotta come back down this
We
way.
could always
innit?
leave it and then come back for it.
Put it in the bush.
Okay, I'll skin it.
Kick it in the bush.
I'm gonna skin it.
No, don't kick it in the bush. There we go. Okay, make a survival check, I guess. Maybe nature? One of the two. Whichever you prefer, survival or nature. Everyone's better.
Oh!
Oh wait, aren't they both wisdom? Oh no, nature's intelligence. What is it?
That one.
Roll again.
8.
You butcher this thing beyond belief. You just fuck the pelt beyond, like,
I feel like she
Beyond
was like
repair.
showing off.
you're
she
just
didn't
like
know.
randomly slashing. You have no idea how or what you're doing. It's just really, really like shoddily done. You're carving into organs at some point and there's like horrendous smells coming out of it. There's just blood pissing all over you.
And,
Like this thing is a mess now. It's like this. You've somehow managed to crack a rib and kind of like blood eagle it. It's like just ripping out the side. It is. You're not gonna get any like monetary value out of it, but you can still chop off enough of it to prove it's an owlbear to try and get a reward for the fact you killed an owlbear. But don't try selling the leather.
Can I
That's
try? Can I
gone.
do the other one?
Try again, I guess.
But also, When she
Round
does
two,
that, she just
let's
goes,
fight.
ta-da! She's really proud of herself.
You were soaked in blood though. Your arms up to like your biceps are just bloodied to all hell. You've got it like splattered up all your face. Your dress that was like, or your outfit that was, it'd seemed worn, is now just drenched in this blacky
You're
red,
owning it all. You're
thick,
proud as
Yeah.
fuck.
She's so
viscous
proud.
blood.
Like, because she's still young, she's still trying to prove herself.
Yeah.
So, like, she's proud as fuck that she's, like, done that. And,
Just
like, even though it's
butchered this
butchered to shit, she doesn't care what either of you think, and she's like, "Ta-da!" Like, woo!
Okay, so
Let
try
me go
the
for
other
the
one.
other one.
Roll again.
What do you get? 6?
In total?
9.
9 in total. Okay, this one's a bit better. You're learning. It's a slow
Amazing.
process. Again, you have enough that you could kind of, make a pouch out of the amount of leather you've skinned off it, but again, relatively poor job. You'd be lucky to get a gold for it. Like, the fact is owlbear pelt makes it more valuable, but like, the edges are all wonky and there's like scratch marks all over it and the fur is all soaked with blood. It's like it's a mess.
Okay.
But it's not as messy as the first one. But now there's more blood.
Okay.
Should we take a break for 5 minutes?
Yep,
Just
and
to-
we can even call that a short rest if you want to.
Yeah.
If you really want to, because, it's only a wyvern murdering people.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There you go.
Whatever.
Cool.
Leave the little
Right,
short
So
one
we'll,
to...
See you
by
in
the time
about
we come
3 or
back,
4 minutes.
you guys can roll your thingies, your dice for heals.
How do I do that?
Bye! Hello! Welcome back to Baggy Moose Douche. Right,
Baggy
Baggy Moose Douche.
Moustache.
Quick
Look at Baggy
clarification. Right, obviously we've been saying all along it's a wyvern, right? It is a wyvern, but traditionally wyverns I don't believe breathe fire. But like in Skyrim, the dragons are actually wyverns and they breathe fire, so we're going down that route. Just again, I'm pandering to the rules lawyers because I know there's gonna be one dickhead in the
Chris.
comments.
Baggy.
You. Yeah, you. I'm looking at you. I've just seen you. You right there, prick. Right. So far, we'll do a little recap for those of you just joining, or those of you that I don't know if this video is going to be like split into 2. If it is, go back and watch the first one when we upload it to YouTube. But so far, the 3.
Heretic.
Hmm?
Chris just said heretic.
Um,
You.
Yeah, the 3 women you see before you have adventured northwards of a quaint little town that has been burnt by a wyvern dragon, whatever. They've been tasked with killing it. They've headed up the valley. Their guide that was all but completely useless, like, he was
Chicken.
a mild personality, was decapitated and ripped to bits and flown away. Then they found some owlbears eating something and murdered them in the face, literally twice. Arrow between one of their eyes and a dagger through the gullet of another.
And then out.
And they've now just skinned the 2 and taken a little rest just to catch their breath and gather their thoughts and things.
So these are gone now. Well, this
Oh yeah, they all dead. You can
They
pass
gone.
that back actually. It's like,
Okay. So, please.
draw the next one.
These are the Ellis's. So,
What about the fuck?
what were they eating?
Well, make an investigation check. I'm glad someone asked. Oh, hang on. Jess, that one's yours.
Oh,
Right,
sorry.
is anyone else, before I roll now, is anyone helping me? Because I've been shit rolling today. Thank you. 17.
17?
But
Okay.
when I had,
Plus-
when I had my investigation,
Yep.
18.
18. Right, cool. So you realise that they've been feasting on one of the soldiers that were sent north to kill this wyvern, who up until this point had actually survived. He was a bit melty, he was a bit beaten up, but he had actually survived the onslaught, because it's only been maybe not even quite 48 hours since the wyvern showed up. So, he's been able to survive this long. He was in a very bad shape, you could tell, but now his guts have been eaten by owlbears. Be they carnivorous or not, they are now. Where did I put those goddamn markers? Oh, they did.
Okay, in which case I'm gonna look through his body.
Okay, considering you rolled so high on the investigation check, there's a small, satchel to the side. It looks like a... God damn it, you did it again!
That's the third
Like an
time.
apothecary satchel, and
Okay.
you root through and you do find a healing potion. It's very obviously a healing potion. But there's also another, black green viscous goop in like a conical flask that at the moment is bunged up, but you actually make an Arcana check. See if you know what it is.
17.
Oh, you recognize this. The elders in your village told you about this.
I was gonna say,
Yeah. And considering the context of everything with the wyvern, you realise this is the venom from a wyvern's tail, because they have large scorpion-like stingers. And it appears this guy managed to retrieve
Milk
a
it.
sample, milk the wyvern.
he looked the wyvern.
He juiced him.
Okay.
Looking for the little wyvern tit.
Tail tit.
Tail tit. Yeah, but yeah, you see that this oh shit. It is wyvern goop. Whether it was taken out of the a fallen comrade or off the floor is another thing. But he's picked up just enough to fill the bottom of a conical flask, possibly for study. Strange priorities for a man that just got half melted, but he did it nonetheless.
So would I know what that would do? I know obviously it's the venom, but what would it like?
I'm not sure if it's an actual item. I will check before going any further. I believe it is. Oh shit, it is. What the fuck does it do? Oh no! I was gonna make up my own thing. Poisons. Come on, you bugger. Lord. D&D Beyond, for when you really need the things immediately and it loads for some reason.
Someone put that in the chat.
Wyvern poison injury.
What
Oh, yeah.
says that
It's-
you're the best DM.
Wait, who did?
Rocket
Hey,
Leslie.
Rob. He has to say that because he's in my group and I'll literally kill his character.
Again.
It literally does exactly what I thought it was going to do. Well, what I was going to use it for. Essentially, if you coat a blade in it, I don't know what the official effect is, but it's going to add D4 poison damage for 3 turns. That is my rule. I don't know if that's the real thing or not. Whatever. It doesn't even have to specifically be weapons. You can dip ammunition in it. You can coat caltrops or something in it. You know, it's
Could
just
I dip my arrow in it?
you could, yeah. You could then shoot 3 arrows that are poisoned. There's enough in the tincture to give you 3 anyway. Estimated. I'm telling you this, the character is just like, there's exactly enough to apply it 3 times.
Okay. Would I know if that venom damages the wyvern?
Make a nature check.
16.
Apparently you're really clued up on winged lizardy creatures.
Alright, so?
You don't believe that it has any, like... Well, you don't believe that the wyvern is particularly resistant to her in any way. Whether this wyvern is different or not, but... you believe it would just do as it did to anything or anyone else that it got into the bloodstream of. Which is basically just... You know when snake bites turn your blood to, like, jelly? That's kind of what this does. It doesn't feel good. It kind of goes like a black gunk. Clogs you
Okay,
up.
so
gives
I-
you clots.
I tell them, both of them this,
Okay.
as I know what it is.
Right, okay. And again, because you also high, apart from the apothecary satchel, there's scraps of copper and gold. Copper and silver. There's about 4 copper, 5 silver. You know, there's not break the bank, but whatever.
Okay.
Extra money. And he has his weapon with him, which is just a short sword. It's quite well made. It's not, it's in decent enough condition. He seems to have kept it quite clean, probably because being an apothecary, he had he liked to keep things clean, but as an apothecary you wouldn't be wielding anything bigger. So yeah, you can pick up a short sword if you want it.
Don't I already have one? I think.
You do. You
Does
have
anyone-
one, but you can equip 2 instead of a dagger as well if you
I've got
wanted.
2 already.
You
I
have
don't
axe,
want one.
haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, I might as well just pick it up anyway because it's not gonna harm me picking
Yeah.
it up.
Okay. Cool.
So now I just added to my summons.
To your equipment.
Yes. sword. Where are you? Oh, I already got 2. Oh well.
Go to.
Oh, so with that dagger, you could have done even more damage.
Oh no, sorry, I lied. That's a short bow.
Bit different,
Mm.
a little bit, just a smidge.
Going to weapon.
Right, so you raid the corpse of this freshly eaten apothecary. He doesn't seem to have any other like herbs or anything on him. Probably the salves that he did have were used attempting to save the melted few. You can see that he's there's a small trail that leads off that's easy enough to spot to anyone because it's covered in mud and covered in blood, and it's like a big drag through the mud, as though he's Anakin from episode 3 this way here, where he's like dragged himself with one arm and like he's dragging just his broken battered legs behind him. It's very obvious, but you don't know how far it goes particularly for now.
Okay. So when we've got back, I'll share out all of the shit. Just saying,
Okay.
guys.
Yeah. sounds
Until
good.
then, I'll just keep it on me. All the venom stuff I've already told you. So before we interact with the wyvern, we should all our weapons, maybe, possibly, maybe just the arrows,
Yeah,
so we can shoot it from far away. Because if it's flying, we can still shoot it.
that's a good plan.
Clever.
You do know a lot about wyverns.
Um.
For a 20-year-old elf, that's just your one fixation as a child. You just read shitloads of books about like dragons, drakes, wyverns, all the cousins. It's just like that is your thing.
My go-to. So.
You
You're
vaguely
welcome.
knew what an owl bay was, but you know
It's like, what
the intricacies of a wyvern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. But I think we should follow that track.
Yeah.
Where he's come from and just look around and see what is around. Maybe he'll take us to more of his friends that we can pillage.
Help. I thought you were going to say help, but no.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Steal all
encouraging-
their shit.
I mean, if they're dead, they're not going to use it. So.
No,
Rob,
exactly.
if you're still watching, like my Rob, not
No,
our Rob.
I think he's gone.
He said
Well, if you're watching the replay, this is how you loot shit. My party are terrible. They'll clear a room and they'll go, let's loot things, and then I'm like, all right, roll. And before they roll, they're like, oh, what about this, blah blah blah, and they get distracted, and then they just don't loot. And I'm like, guys,
now you drive what
there's
was
shit
there.
everywhere.
Yeah.
This cave is filled with potions, and you're just like, so pay attention. Right. So are you following the tracks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're easy enough to follow. You don't even need to make a survival check. Like, I'm pretty sure like a blind Goliath could follow this. Just easy enough. It's very obvious. There's so much blood. Like, just so much blood. It leads kind of up the slope slightly, where you come across. There's like a cave opening. It's not particularly big, but in front was a clearing where there was clearly some sort of bonfire or campfire built. Even it's like smaller than a bonfire, bigger than a campfire. And there are corpses strewn everywhere. There are exactly 9 corpses. Or that's what you've deducted from the maths. 12 went up, 2 came back, 1 you just found. There are so many bits of people everywhere. Melted bits, bones that have been just ripped from, the flesh. There are people that have been cut in two, so you think these legs belong to this torso, but you're not entirely sure. They're all dressed relatively similar because they're kind of like soldier uniforms, but yeah, it's a bloodbath, a complete mess. There's just human and elf and dwarf bits all over the shop, and it's starting to smell. Like, rot is beginning to set in because they were baking under the sun yesterday.
Well, I think one thing we can learn from this is no fires. It is probably not a good idea. I think it attracts the wyvern. So,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna stand at the opening of the
Okay.
cave and just look in because I've got dark vision.
Okay,
I just kind of like
make a perception check.
peek. Just
Okay.
Can I give her advantage?
Yeah, why not? I'm gonna help you to look. look at that,
No, because
and look at that.
No,
No, I know that's how it works. Like, that's how the game rule works.
Too,
But
so.
I know, but it's just funny, innit? Like, how
So
do you
why-
aid someone?
Okay, so I rolled
Like,
an
not laugh at the
18.
game rules, not you. Don't
What have
panic.
I got to add?
You can roll with advantage.
I got 18.
Okay,
And
that's
then I add,
more
what do
than
I
enough.
add?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
My
fine. You
initiative.
look into the
No,
cave,
perception.
See, this is what
and from the cave, you hear a little voice call out and go, "Hello? Oh, hiya, Batty. How are you? Oh, shit. It's not who I thought it was. Oh, you where, Bat? Hello?" And he kind of like slowly comes out, and there's this guy in like various furs and leathers with like a stag head kind of like as a helmet. He's like, "Oh, 3 new people come to my my wonderful cave. How can I help you all then?"
How are you still alive?
"Oh, you mean that bloody big wyvern? Oh, I just hid in my cave, honestly. I don't think those boys even knew I was in here. Silly sods, lighting fires while wyverns are around in the night. Fucking obvious, innit?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. See,
See, bloody brain on this one, look at that.
Yeah.
So who were you expecting?
Well, visitors to my soggy cave of fungal wonders.
Yeah, but who?
Well,
Because
no
you
one
said
in-
you're not who we thought you were.
Oh, well, no, I've got an elfin friend, that's all, and she, you know, the light was behind her, and I was a bit blind from being in the cave. She just looked a bit like my elfin friend, that's all. I'm not expecting anyone, but like I said, I have many visitors to my fungal cave. My soggy cave of fungal wonders. I can't fucking... So do you not want to come into my soggy cave?
Can I
No
see
one's going
anything
to come
else?
in my soggy cave. No.
Can I see anything else? Do I just see him?
You like with the check, you look in and there's just like all these different troughs of like dirt that this guy has clearly like moved himself, and there's just all these various fungus and spores and
Can I
mushrooms.
see the
and
back
worms
of the
up.
cave?
It goes down for about 40-50 feet maybe. But there's like rocks in various places. You can't quite see the entirety of the back, but you can see enough of like a back.
I can see that there isn't a wyvern in there.
Oh, there's no wyvern in it.
Okay.
There's just a lot of mushrooms and fungus. So no one's gonna come in my wall then.
Come in your wall.
No one's going to come into Cadwallader's soggy cave of fungal wonders. No? I have to keep checking the names. I fuck it up every
I
time.
feel like because he keeps saying this, we have to go in. That could be a trap.
People come from all over the land to see my soggy cave
Why?
because of my fungal wonders.
What do they do?
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have named it this. Fuck. Oh my god, I'm gone. I only need a minute. Oh shit. When you just think about it and keep laughing, and it's like a self-fueling
It's
problem.
just like keeps getting worse and
Oh
worse.
shit, I'm laughing at my own jokes, it's not even that good. Oh fuck.
I know that it's called Cadwallader's, like the ice cream place down the bay.
I didn't even know that. I knew a guy whose middle name was Cadwallader, and I was like, what's a really Welsh name? But oh well, these fungus and mushrooms, they can be used for many medicinal things. I saw the what's his name, apothecary poke his face in a bit, but I don't think they really wanted to come into this cave, to be honest. It's got a bit of a smell, and like there definitely is kind of like a damp, just musk. It's very moist smell. It's called.
Okay, I'll come in.
Alright, so you
I'm
just
just gonna wander in.
oh well, here we are. Here are all the toadstools. And he shows you in his like various little like troughs, and there's like all these magical looking toadstools. Some of them literally are magical. There's like little, almost like particle effects coming off them. There's like little sparks and light glowing, and one of them's even like thrumming gently and like glowing. It's like, oh, this one's my favourite. This one makes you see shit, if you know what I mean.
I don't. No.
No,
Oh, well, let's just say if you eat it for the next couple of hours, before you have a massive shit, you're going to be seeing things that are not properly there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she's too young for all that. She's,
Okay,
Yeah.
so you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
See,
Mm,
yeah. You'll find out when you're older, girl. So, so here's my toadstools, and there's like various colours as well. There's red ones with blue spots and blue ones with white spots, and there's purple ones that have no spots at all but have got like a strange little like bloom on the top. And he goes, and over here, well, I'm not sure what these ones are. I don't really know what to call them, but they're kind of like really big and flat with not much like stalk to them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a cap, maybe. I don't know. I'm not very good at naming them, but I kind of know what they do.
Okay, so what would be useful for killing a wyvern?
Probably nothing I've got, but if you want to see shit that's not there, if you want to like feel really good for a couple of hours, probably got you sorted. Oh, hang on. And he goes out to the back. But out to the back. He goes into the cave
He opens
further.
the door in the cave.
Wyvern.
And here is my palace. No, he just goes down to the back and he brings one. He goes, if you can somehow get him to eat this one, he'll fucking knock his socks off.
Oh,
Probably shouldn't be touching it, really.
Alright.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
That'll be... And then you can see him,
3.
like, do mental maths, and he's, like... He's clearly not very good at it, and he's never really, like, sold them before, and he's, like... 4 gold?
No.
5?
No.
Am I going the wrong way?
Yeah.
3.
No.
I don't
wait,
know
just
this
put
way.
it
I'm
in
going
my
to
bag.
call it 3. 3 sounds good.
Okay,
Just go with 3.
you can have 3
Go
copper
with
for it.
Gold.
No.
Go 3, go. Okay. She'll give you 3. I'll give you another 2 if I can have your deer hat.
Oh no, I like Kevin.
Oh.
I shot him myself. I took bloody hours trying to like stuff the inside the head and get his eyes to go back in properly. It took me a long time, like.
Alright,
It's
do
like
it
gold
again.
pieces.
Not like you've got anything else to do.
10.
Hang on a minute, you don't know anything about money.
Who needs money when you got mushrooms?
Exactly, so give it to us for free and I'll give you a
I can
different
go down to
mushroom.
the local town and I can buy more fucking mushrooms.
It's true.
Ah, exactly.
Hang on a minute, where are you getting these fucking mushrooms from? We can go to the town and get them cheaper.
No, I cultivate them from foreign lands. I've been all over the shop.
Lying piece of shit.
I am not. Make an insight check. That's what you were waiting for. I can see the eyebrows.
12.
Yeah, he's genuinely like. There's no reason he would lie to you, but like mushrooms are his life. This guy's a fucking weirdo.
Okay, fine. I'll give you 3 gold for the mushroom.
Right, thank you.
Put it in my bag if you want to touch it.
He just kind of drops it in and then goes, cheers. And he takes the money off you and
actually,
just
I'm
like.
gonna put it like on the end. I'm gonna hold out my arrow and be like, just stick it on that, and then just put it back in the like,
Alright, so he
in the sheet.
he does that. He put it back, takes the money, and he kind of like lifts up several layers of furs and finds like this little pouch and like plops it in and like tries to sort them all back out. And I don't want to part with him, but for 10 gold I cannot refuse. So here you are. He takes it off and he goes, even trade, same time.
Okay.
Ready? 1,
Go.
2, 3. And he's just unfolds all the furs again. He's like, why did I even put it back properly if I was going to do it again? Right. Is there anything else I can interest you in? Is the Soggy Cave of Fungal Wonders? Thank you for coming in my hole, by the way.
No worries.
Let's
I
never
enjoyed
go
it.
again.
What?
Was it good for you? Face. That's on camera. I've got proof. Resting bitch face. Finally, everyone can see it.
I wasn't even rested. I was fucking turned on. I was like, instant
No.
like from like not turned on as in aroused. I mean turned on as in like she was fine, and
Anger,
then all of a
switch.
sudden like bump.
Right. Anyway, you've now got my deer hat. Whether it will fit your large dragonborn skull is beyond me, for I am merely a human.
Is there anything else like in the cave other than his horrible
Okay, make an investigation check.
stinky... Did you see that, Emma? Bastard. Ooh. 7.
7.
No.
It's just it's mushrooms and moistness.
Okay.
It's kind of the name very well sums up where you are. So if that'll be it, I'm gonna go spend my newfound money down at the town.
There's not much left of it.
Oh shit. Yeah, I did see. Well, luckily I don't need the bit with like the green thing. Well, I'll tell you what I will do. I'll go down to the town. I'll pay the man with the horse to take me somewhere, and I will buy some new fungus spores, and then I'll grow them up, and then maybe I don't know. You can come back and buy more.
Okay. What do you know about this wyvern? Where is it?
I know he lives up north, just past the lake. He's kind of right at the top of the valley. You're only about another hour's walk from it. It's quite a long valley, it is. I know that he's a weird one because I've seen them big black scales or grey scales, whatever is under him, and I know he breathes fire.
Great. So.
Which is strange for a wyvern, apparently.
It is.
Not a lot about wyverns, do.
I do.
So basically everything we knew already.
You are wyverns and my fungus.
Essentially.
Aye. So, sorry I can't be of much help, but
Is there
he does live in a cave
on
just
the
up north.
way that we need to be worried about? That we need to know
I
about?
don't know, maybe some animal. There's many an animal in this valley. Might come into a wolf or two, maybe an owl bear.
Oh, we killed 2 of them on the way back down. If you see a lot of blood, don't panic.
Oh, did you kill Betty and
Yeah,
her son?
right in the tits.
Oh, I think I'll need a minute. And he kind of just goes over to a random mushroom that's like glowing and just like eats it. He's like, I'm sure I'll feel better in half hour. Right, if that's it.
So they're your pets, or?
Well, not my pets per se, but I grew fond of old Betty.
Well, they shouldn't try eating people then. Just saying. Now she
Oh,
hasn't got a
that's fair.
face.
That's fair, to be honest. I do tend to keep my distance.
Now
you
she
know.
hasn't got a face, so. Also, we killed her
I
in
think,
front of
hang on, I think I'll need another one. He goes back and he's like, well, either he hit me twice as hard in half an hour or the same rate in quarter of an hour.
Can I just point? I will hear that noise in my sleep tonight. What was that?
That's my eating.
But you were the half orc.
I know, yeah.
I'm just a horrible person.
Right, anyway,
Not in D&D, doesn't
I'll be off then. And he kind of like straps on more fur. You know, like old people that wear like X amount of coats and they just keep layering them up. Well, he just keeps putting on more furs that like were tucked away and like around the back of one of the troughs. Puts them on. He's like, I guess I'll be seeing you when. And he walks out, and you can see him like halfway down the hill. And there's a loud roar, and the wyvern sweeps him up and takes him away. He's just going, ah, shit, as he's carried off. He's not dead yet, but he is being carried off.
Well, at least I got his head.
Bye!
He is going north as well, up towards the lake.
Maybe we can still save him then.
I was going to say, I don't really want to because he'd have my head in.
Imagine
That
tripping
really got
dicks
under my
one day.
skin. Might just be because he's Welsh.
Maybe.
Wales doesn't exist in this world.
Shit.
Whatever that accent was. it's
Yeah,
awful.
whatever that accent was.
Okay, so.
Let's carry
Shall
on.
we have a look where the soldiers are gone?
Yeah.
Little
Up
bits.
towards the. Oh, yeah.
Make an
Good
investigation check.
idea.
Fucking hell. I've been rolling shit. Oh, fucking 17.
17? I thought you just flipped it off.
No, I
That's
did. I
good.
rolled it because it nearly went onto a 6
Oh,
again.
right,
I was
okay.
like, fuck you.
Alright, yeah, they've all got weapons and armour of various grades and weights. Like, there's several long swords, several short swords, a few of them have got like recurve bows. There's people in chain armour, people in lighter, more nimble armour. They tend to be the ones with the short swords. Nothing at the moment stands out apart from money. From between all of them, you scrape together about 3.5 gold. But they seem to be very lightly equipped. They are just kind of like pleb foot soldiers in a random buttfuck no town. So
Okay, I'm going to put down one of my short swords and take a long sword instead.
okay.
I think. Maybe. Okay. It's fine.
You won't be able to dual wield with it though.
No, because you have to hold it with 2 hands.
Yeah.
But I still get my sneak attack.
Yes. Are you proficient in them? Because
In
otherwise
what?
you won't get bonus damage. That's all I'm saying.
In what?
Long swords.
No, short swords I am.
Just know that you won't get your bonus damage.
Okay, I'll just keep it as it is then. I can't be bothered with that. That's fine. Cool.
You also scrape together a few arrows and 2 makeshift like javelins, so to say.
Okay, so
So you can add 2 javelins if you want
Don't
to.
I have the arrows?
I've got. How many arrows have we got?
How many did you start with?
No, how many did we find? Like,
Oh, right, shit, sorry. About 6, 7 that are worth
You've
shooting
got
again.
a bow as
I've
well.
got a bow.
You've
A lot
Splintered.
of them are splintered with, or just burnt to a crisp. Like all the fletching has been burnt off, but you recover about 6 or 7.
I was going to say, I've got quite a lot about.
I've
Call it
got
6.
so
I don't know
if we
if
just
it's
give you
six or
3, if I give you
Right,
3,
it's
I've got
exactly
3.
yeah.
Give you 1 javelin,
Okay.
Yeet!
and I got a javelin. Yeah.
Javelins really worked out in our first one shot. Like they were fun. Right, so
Okay.
yeah,
so
you've pilfered the giblets of corpses. These poor bastards that'll never get a proper burial and will rot and be eaten by birds and just other detritivores.
Are we supposed to feel
Just-
sad?
Can we all get this right? In the post edit, zoom in on her face and just look at the expression
Like
she said when she said,
genuinely
"Should we be sad?" When I just described the fact that these men who had wives and children have been butchered by a dragon or a wyvern or whatever the fuck, and she's just gone, "Should we be sad?" Like an absolute psychopath.
That's fair.
Also, if I end up missing at some point, it's probably her. Like IRL now, outside a game. Like, if I'm missing, she's probably bumped me off.
I can't find arrows. I can't find arrows.
It's not worth the gentle time.
Arrows. How many did I get? 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Ah! Okay, sorry.
Cool.
I
Right.
think nothing. Everything's fine. Go ahead.
Did you just had 30 arrows?
No, I
she
just
knocked herself off.
just checked it off. It's
Right.
fine.
It's just, I can't remember what it was. They went to add like 3 arrows and they had like 3 bundles of arrows. And it was like, oh, you've got a lot now. So yeah, you leave the soggy cave of fungal wonders and I assume head back north after pilfering these corpses. You just make your way onwards towards the wyvern.
Yes.
Right, so without much further trouble, like there's an occasional howl in the distance or bark or various dog or large cat-like sounds with roars, and you know this place is just full of beasties. Occasionally a bug will run in front of your path, or like a little dragonfly will fly towards you, or like a bird will just kind of have a little nose at what's going on, but you know, nothing like an owl bear attack anyway. And you reach like the precipice of the hill that you've been slowly like walking up. It's like a slow incline at the end of the valley where there is a waterfall leading out of a natural lake where all the rivers from the top come down into, basically like a reservoir. And there is very clearly a cave opposite you in front of this lake. It's quite a big lake. You're looking at like a 100 to 150 foot at the narrowest point. It's not the smallest of reservoirs, but you know, but there's very clearly like an open-mouthed cave where there is general grumbling coming from. So chances are that's the wyvern cave. May not be, but it might be. You'll never know unless you go and stick your head in it.
Go and take a peek.
I gotta walk all the way around. First of all, we all need to dip our things in.
I don't know if it's the wyvern now.
Yeah, then our arrows will still have the poison on anyway.
Does it just
Yeah,
does
you
it
can do
stay?
up to 3. I'll say you can do 2 arrows per application or 1 bladed weapon. So you can either do 3 bladed weapons or 6 arrows,
I think you should
or
do
a
all
mixture of the
arrows.
2. You could have like 4 arrows, 1 weapon.
Do all the arrows.
Or, can I do all your
I'll
arrows?
do.
Or two,
Two.
and then do a dagger. Or you could also.
Right, okay, if I do 2 of your arrows, 2 of my arrows, including the one with the mushroom on it.
Uber kill.
Yeah.
Make him trip just before he dies.
And then should I
He
do
goes to
another
breathe
arrow?
fire and it's
Should
just
I
like,
another-
whoa.
Should I do another 2 arrows, or do you want some for your...
Axe.
It's at this point you're farting about with the arrows, you can hear from the cave just a very Welsh scream.
Okay, there we go. He's in there. I'm going to put them all on my arrows.
Go for it.
Okay.
So I've got 4 arrows, which have got the venom on them.
Yep.
And 1 with a mushroom. mushroom.
I'm
and
cooking
arrow.
some
And
pasta.
venom. mushroom.
Here's
on
the
there.
mushroom on the top. Woo!
So there's 3 arrows.
That's what
which will go just there
an
now.
Italian bow sounds like when you loose an arrow. It goes whoo.
So that's what's gonna happen with me. Okay.
Sorry to any Italians watching. Oh yeah, fuck. Whoops.
Oopsie. It's okay. It's not racist because I'm Italian. Doesn't count.
That's how it works.
That's how it works, right?
That's how racism works. Yeah.
Okay, so are we all good?
Mm-hmm. Let's
Cool.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go get
Right,
some
so-
wyvern.
I'm gonna wander up to the cave and kind of
Are you gonna sneak at all?
yeah.
Roll a sneak.
Yeah,
I was being generous.
Thank you.
Okay,
Sneaky
roll,
sneak.
roll a sneak.
So what is that stealth?
Yeah.
20.
Oh damn, yeah, okay. So you
It's not natural though.
pop your head around and it doesn't spot you immediately, but the wyvern is definitely in here. There's a horrendous like reek of corpses. There's livestock corpses, human corpses. You think you can make out a dwarf in the corner. Like it's very obviously where it brings
If that's
back its
Tuvalu, I'm
prey
gonna
to
be
it.
pissed.
Huh?
What's his name?
Torvald.
Torvald.
Tuvalu.
Tuvalu. That's a place, isn't it?
It's that
It's an island.
Tuvalu. I wish he was called Tuvalu.
Jesus. But yeah, it's very obvious this is where the wyvern brings its prey to eat it.
Okay, I'm gonna wander back to these two and tell them that's what I see.
Okay.
First of all,
You don't see Cadwallader though.
I don't see the. Okay, I don't really care about him. And then I'm gonna say to you two that I think we need to set a fire outside, because it'll bring it out, rather than fighting it inside the cave. Look against it.
I'm not saying anything.
We could
Yeah.
try. We could try that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Let's go get some wood though.
Just spend 10 minutes chopping down a fucking
on, I
tree
might
with your
have-
axe.
I might have
Firewood.
fire. I think I've got torches, so I'm assuming they've fire.
Yeah, you'll have a way of lighting them at least.
I have.
I got a tinderbox. So.
Yeah, I got a tinderbox and I've got torches.
I mean, I can burn all the rope
No.
if we want.
So can I just light a torch?
Can we set the tree on fire?
Just something on fire.
Okay.
Or a bush?
After just a short while of bundling things together, it's easy enough to get a fire started. It's very dry out, so it catches pretty quickly. But it doesn't seem to be attracting it at the moment.
It's because it's not dark.
Mm.
Shit, forgot about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like by like midday.
Shut the sun off? Shut the sun off.
Shit the sun off. Just poop
It's
all
off.
over it and it'll go
Shit
out.
off. Go on.
That's
shit
how
off.
suns work.
How big is the opening of the cave?
It's big enough for it to fly through. How big are they? Large. That helps. It's kind of like 2-3 times the size of like an average human. It's probably about 15 to 20 foot opening upwards, and it's quite wide. It's quite like a squat opening.
I guess we're going in the cave then.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna sneak in.
Go in the cave. Aim for the wings. Then it can't fly out.
If the wings can't fly out. Apart from the mouse with the arrow with the venom on it.
Yeah, don't put. Yeah.
And the mushroom.
If you could get it to ingest the mushroom and start like tripping balls, that would be the ultimate end to this. Because he did say that it
If I
it
could
fucks
get
you
in
up,
there.
but he didn't say that it wasn't hallucinogenic.
No.
So it could make you trip, then kill you.
Yeah, I could do anything.
You'll never know. Well, you might if you manage to get him to swallow it.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna sneak in.
Okay, make a new sneak check.
Are we all
Stealth
going in
check.
stealthy or are we learning to go in first?
Yeah, we'll all go in.
20 again.
You know. Yeah, you're now in the mouth of the cave. It goes back quite a way. I don't know, tell you how far it goes back now.
To 1987.
It's about 100 feet. It is quite spacious
Mm-hmm.
for what you expect it to be. Again, the smell of like rot really hits you now. Even though it's only been here a couple of days, there have been more corpses than this. Like, this cave has been used for corpses before because there are some bones that have been completely like picked dry picked clean and dried out and are basically bleached, because there appears to be just like a small ray of light coming in through the ceiling of the cave. Whether it was a cave in or whether it's just naturally formed that way, like this has been used before, possibly by other draconic monsters.
What about? I just remembered that thing got hit by something. Was stabbed. The
Albert.
What was it stabbed by? We'll never know.
Yeah.
Might be someone around to help us. Oh well. Next.
Let's go. Let's go in. And
I'm already in, so.
Okay.
You too. What
So
are you
you're just
doing?
in the mouth of the cave. Oh,
I'm
speaking
kind
of
of like.
which, now that you're in the cave, you get a better view of it.
Thanks.
Ow. Ah, Jesus Christ.
Oh, moving.
Right, so now these black crosses are
Tights.
No, tights go down. Mites up, tights down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so
more
stalagmites, so they're all pointing up.
Okay.
Which is basically like difficult terrain where you're gonna have to make a dex check to go across, otherwise you're gonna like fall and impale yourself. This is just a huge pile of corpses in the corner.
That is not a pile of corpse.
It's just, I'm not gonna draw them out, Jesus Christ.
It's a giant clam.
These are just rocks that block your way.
Patches.
Oil clams.
Sauce.
Oily clams.
You're lucky like slapping someone is like against TOS or whatever.
Oops. Okay, so
Just for the record, I
that
don't slap. That's
coming
not a thing.
Yes.
Stop! You're actually gonna get us like banned and me arrested.
I'm joking.
Stop!
So when I come in here,
Right, yeah.
I'm just like up against this then, I guess.
Yeah,
Where's the
okay.
wyvern?
I'm gonna find something because it needs to kind of be big.
Oh. A mug?
It's a bit big. Okay, hang on. I'll just put 4 dice in like a bundle.
I got this. Wait.
Again, a bit bigger. I think
What?
it's a bit big. It's not. I'm not saying the wyvern is bigger. I'm saying that. Oh my god! There we go. If you just put like
Oh,
them
right.
in,
That's what you were saying, that the wyvern is bigger than that.
that's kind of like its footprint, as it's like its wings are obviously bigger, but its actual like footprint is kind of like 10 feet by 10 feet,
Right.
just towards the back by the pile of corpses. That's fine.
Cool.
It doesn't really worry about the stalagmites. It just kind of like puts a claw up on them. So yeah,
And that's where I am.
yeah.
Okay.
You're like 80 feet away from a fucking wyvern, and it's just completely oblivious.
You just kind of sneak in.
You're just a sneaky little person.
Can I do a sneaky end as well?
You can try.
I want to do a sneaky.
If anyone, I was gonna say if anyone else, it's just Jess. If you want to do a
Oh,
sneaky,
I did do a sneaky.
what do you get?
20. No, 19.
19. And Deb
Debbie's gonna fucking just be like,
Probably.
jingles all the way in, like, for no apparent reason. Oh, that's what Rob pulled on a card earlier on the deck of even more things. He now has a -5 to stealth because every time he attempts to crouch and stealth, there's just like a jingling noise that emerges from him for no reason.
I rolled 11.
11, right? So, Jess, if you put your dice somewhere on the back line,
Anyway,
yeah. And Deb, if you put yours like 10 feet, 15 feet in, you get a bit overzealous, and you go marching in, and you start making like clattery noises as stones start to like, because this cave angles slightly inwards towards where that first rock is, and then afterwards it flattens out.
like a
So it just, there's like a rock that stumbles, and as it does, you can hear from the back of the room after the wyvern spins around and lets out a huge roar, just, oh shit, you've done it now. He's alive, but you can't see him from, he's probably in the pile of corpses. But the wyvern spins around and now knows you're there.
all
So
of us.
it's now turned around and seen all of you, yes. So I
Right.
need you to roll initiative.
even though we got 20.
Yeah.
Stupid Deb.
Sorry, Deb. Sorry, me. Sorry.
21.
18.
Again? Really? Right, hang on. So, Raziri 21, Inil 6. What do you say? 18. Deb.
13.
Okay. Even though it spotted you, you still get the jump on it. So,
Sorry.
it's gonna start with Raziri. So you're now face down with a wyvern. And a very pongy smell of death.
We're just going all in, yeah. Okay.
Go for it.
Kill
No one wants to try and speak to the dragon. Wyvern.
When you're,
No.
dragonborn.
No.
Do you want to kind of communicate?
Like,
He
right,
was past that.
I'll feed you the corpses over there.
I'll bring him back to you.
Yeah. Carry on. Take away.
Jesus Christ.
Oh dear.
We know where, what's his name? Ethel? What's it?
I
can't remember what it was.
No.
We know where his head is if you look
Or
at it.
Eska.
Eska. Yeah, full. Down by there.
On a spike.
What was his
In
name?
the bush we kicked
Escus.
it. Eska. We kicked it.
I care not about the pleb.
Booted it, didn't I?
Just a dull, like, unceremonious thwack. Right, but yeah.
Okay.
So, what you doing?
Can I cast Hunter's Mark on it?
What's the range on it?
90 feet.
Then, in theory, yeah.
I think
If
he's
you're in
80
90 feet.
Hang on, check with me. 80.
Yeah, okay. That does mark.
Okay.
I
Do I
just
just
imagine
cast
there's not
that
like a
or
big
do I
red
roll?
cross here that everyone can see.
Do I just cast it or do I roll?
What's it say?
Just doesn't say anything. Just has got a line.
Has it got a cast time? Was it bonus action?
It just says it's a bonus action,
Okay, so that's a bonus action.
and it says concentration up to 1 hour.
Okay, so if you get hit, you're gonna have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
I can't remember what you have to beat. Hold on, I'll Google it quick. Not Google it. I'll D&D Beyond it for all your D&D needs. We aren't sponsored, but I mean, that'd be nice. What was I fucking searching?
And
Concentration.
Concentration.
There we go.
Ironic.
It's been a long day, boys.
Smells like clam in here.
Oh,
Not in here.
I was gonna say.
In here.
that's nasty, bitch.
Still ladies, obviously. Sorry, that was fucking horrible.
Oh.
Sorry.
No.
I thought you said none then.
No.
No.
Why can't I find concentration? I can't remember what you have to
Press.
beat.
Tifa, help.
I can't remember what the. None of my bloody wizards ever use it. Concentration. Why isn't it showing? Is it just you have to beat 10 or something? D&D, 5e,
why not?
concentration.
Whatever the fuck you like.
I assume it is.
Oh, do I have to do a save DC?
Take it out. Your concentration is, you must take a Constitution saving throw. Yes, but of what? Constitution saving throw? Yeah, geez, thanks. I think it's 10. Should we just call it 10?
Yeah. Fuck it. Do we want to? Should we give it?
Big true. Casting time, range, components, material, concentration. Oh my god, why does not I say? It just says you have to keep concentration and then make a throw. We'll just call it 10. Fuck it, 10. Right, so yep, if you take a hit, you have to make a throw. So what else are you going to do?
I've equipped my stuff.
I'm gonna come in a bit closer.
Okay.
While she's doing stuff, can I equip my bow? Do I have to wait?
Wait for your turn.
Okay.
I would say.
So-
Hang on. What would that even be? Is that a bonus?
I should pass these. What is it? Spikes
Start
on
my
the floor.
fifth, yeah.
Okay, there's something somewhere on here. Take an action. Right, I'll just call her bonus action to swap. Because it's like a full sheath and...
Do you know if you use your bonus actions, you still have your two main actions to hit 2 attacks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you would have come into the cave. Would you have had your weapons drawn? Or would you have just been empty-handed?
Empty-handed.
Okay,
Because
then
I've
I'll just say that you
equipped
can
the
draw...
moment, but like they're in my...
I'll just say you can draw your bow and as like one action. If it was weapon swap, I'd say, but otherwise...
So just change it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and hit you with my bow.
Go for it.
24.
That hits.
Okay. 3. So 6 damage on the first one.
Okay.
But then it's an extra d6 because of my hunter's mark.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, 2.
Okay.
So it's all together.
Was that with a poisoned arrow or not?
Oh, with the poison. Yeah.
Okay, so roll an extra d4.
Did you count it? Because I lost it. Are you making it? Have you tallied it up? Because I lost what I'd had.
Yeah, but I can just add more. It's fine. Go for it.
Well, that's what she's
No,
saying.
that's
Oh,
what I'm saying.
yeah. I've written down how you've done 8 so far.
2.
Okay. Cool. And a second shot, I assume?
Yeah.
With a poisoned or not?
You only got 2 poison.
Well,
No,
venomous
I'm
arrow.
No, not this time.
Okay. Normal arrow. And the giant killer thing.
26.
That hits.
Can I use my...
Giant killer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not giant killer.
Oh. What?
Colossal Slayer thing.
Huh?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, Colossus Slayer. It's same. They've got like a giant killer and a Colossus Slayer. It's like, guys, be a bit more imaginative. Come on.
So...
But yeah, now he's damaged. You can apply damage onto it.
Yeah. Right, 4.
Okay.
10.
Right.
13.
Does Hunter's Mark apply to every shot that you do?
Yes. Until I break my concentration.
Nice. Okay. So next
if
is
Obviously there's no other...
Emil.
Obviously there's no other like enemies that we can see so far, but if there was... If the first enemy
can
died,
change it,
I can
yeah.
change it.
How much damage did you do then? Sorry.
She did 23.
Okay. Right. How far am I away? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So I'm 80 away.
Yeah.
I can use my bow, can I?
Yeah, but I think you'll be in the disadvantage range, won't you? It's got a short. It's got like one. It's got 2 numbers. The first one is what, like 60 or something.
80.
8. Oh shit! Oh, is it a longbow?
Short bow.
Wait, they have 80-foot range?
And
Shit.
then
Oh,
it's
I'm
got
thinking of hand crossbows. Yeah,
And
carry
it's
on.
got 320 next
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
that's the maximum. Yeah, I was thinking hand crossbows. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, so to hit first, isn't it?
With a poison arrow or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the mushroom one though.
Not the mushroom one. Cool.
18
Yeah, that hits.
and 5.
Yeah.
So it hits anyway.
Yeah.
Well, 18 would already hit, so.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 1d6 plus 2. 3 damage.
Okay.
And then I can do my sneak attack now, can
No, because
I? Oh, because I'm so far away.
yeah, you'd either have to have advantage on the roll,
Mm-hmm.
Or it
or
has to be engaged with someone else?
it has to be engaged with someone else. Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll.
So they're just the 3. Yeah. 3. Okay.
And then I'll go again, I suppose.
Okay. Wait, did you roll the poison damage?
No. What's that? A d4?
D4.
1.
Damage is damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go again.
Yep.
18.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
7.
Nice.
And then. So I only got 2. I don't want to use any of the poison one, do I? So that was only 7 damage then.
Okay.
So, what was it?
11 altogether.
11.
Cool. Right. Next is Deb.
Okay, so
Sergeant Loudfeet.
yes, I'm gonna move it a bit.
You don't have to cut when you.
Oh, I can
You can
do
move 5
diagonal.
feet diagonal.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, so I'll go there then.
Yeah.
So
That's not how real life triangles work. That's how D&D triangles work.
Mm-hmm.
fair. So I'm in 25 feet now. My breath weapon is 30 foot, so I'm gonna use
Nice.
that.
And your blues is lightning, yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh,
Oh wait, no, it's not. It's not an attack roll. He has to make
Oh.
some sort of save. I believe it's Dex. It says on
yeah, Dex.
Dex save?
Dex save, yeah.
it. Oh, okay.
Which is good because I rolled really badly.
12. What's the save?
14.
Oh, so it hits.
Cool.
Roll damage.
2d6s. 4 and 6.
10 lightning damage. Oof. That's a tasty one. So you move towards these like stalagmites just before you reach them. You judge the distance just about. You think, oh, Jesus Christ. You think, I think I could probably hit it from here. And just let out this huge like bellow, and as you do, you puff out your chest. Sparks build up around your neck and just come blasting out in a line. And it just hits this wyvern like straight in the face, arcs backwards down its back, and you can see that it's left like a big burn mark from like cheek to maybe halfway down its back. It looks pissed. Is that your turn?
I get to go again, attack again tonight. But
Right.
breath weapon you use once, can you?
I was gonna say no. The thing, because it counts as like an ability or a spell,
Oh, okay.
you'd have to have attacked. You attack with a melee weapon twice, but you don't. That's your action. Not
Oh,
your
right, okay.
attack. Yeah, it's basically like a weird way the rules are written.
Oh,
An
that's
attack is something with a weapon.
good. Right.
And an action is using like either an attack, like an attack's a type of action, or spell, ability, whatever.
Oh,
So
what
that was a
Hunter's
good thing.
Mark then?
That was a bonus action.
So that's my end of my turn then.
Okay, cool. So the wyvern like flaps its wings slightly. There's just about enough room for it to get off the ground. Like it. It's fine. We'll just. Actually, I'll tell you what. Right, 10 feet next to it using this. Well, actually, move it towards. It can move 40 feet. So just. Oh wait, no, it can fly 80 feet. Shit. Move it about 60 feet forward.
60 feet forward.
Yeah.
So
Just
5,
kinda like-
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Actually,
45.
leave it there. I misjudged
Okay.
that a fucking mile. Okay, 45 feet. It's now kind of just in between a bunch of you. As it's only 10 feet off the ground, but you know it's still out of reach of, or like you know it's the very tip of your
Right.
weapon strike. Then
How far? Which way is it facing?
it's currently facing. Well, it's kind of like hovering, facing. If you want to right north as the top of the cave, like that end. So it's
Can I have a second?
Oh, SARS.
That's alright.
so north is pointing upwards through the cave. Yeah, so it's currently facing east.
So
So-
it's that way.
It's facing that way.
We can change
But it
where
could-
it's facing so we know.
Why?
But shoot
Because
them in
you
the
get
mouth.
advantage on this if it's
Oh
in the
no,
back.
I mean it's
so we-
facing
No,
the
if
wall.
you have to have two people either side of the.
Yeah,
monster.
exactly. But if like she's here and then when someone comes up this end and is facing this way,
All right, yeah, then
But
you
do
get
you
the
see
plus.
what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
you
what-
get the plus one.
but also I want to shoot her in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to track facing, that's fine. But he's moving his head and neck around it anyway. But we'll come to that. Like
Yeah.
we'll cross that bridge when it bends. That's the thing.
Yeah. This one.
So, witnessing your breath weapon, he's gonna take a jab of his own. But he flies over you and Actually, he is. He's just gonna turn back at you and be like, "This is how you breathe fire. Like, fuck your lightning." And
So now he's facing towards you.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw of. Wait, where is it? Technically, he hasn't got a breath weapon because he's not a dragon, so we'll go off that. So yeah, just make a Constitution saving throw, and I'll tell you if you're good. And add your Constitution.
21.
Fuck yeah, fuck that. You just like hop out of the fire immediately as it starts. Like you being a dragonborn know full well that when the throat starts to glow, you move, and you've just like completely dipped out the fire. You're fine. You've jumped straight back onto it. And you're like, ha. He is going to swoop down with some more of his movement towards. Who's that? Urisiri.
Okay.
So he's going to swoop towards you and try and claw at you.
Okay.
So if you want to just shift him upwards, he's going to basically face southwards.
But he's going to go 2 meters.
Yeah. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
Just hits.
Ooh. How much damage is that? 7 slashing damage.
Okay. Oh, I just inspired myself.
Also, I want to do a thing for the breath weapon. Hold on. No. I've put it on like a recharge timer. So. With that, how much has it moved? 10 feet up and was it like 50 feet across? It's gonna fly up an extra 10 feet. Just so it's kind of like. Actually, no, it won't be able to. No, it's fine. It wouldn't have enough room to flap its wings, so it's gonna stay where it is because there's just enough room for it to like. Kind of keep hopping almost. He's not like. He's not hovering. It's not like a hummingbird. He's like having to drop and then take back off and then kind of flapping once or twice, scraping his wing and then having to drop again because there's just not enough room in here for him to fly. He wants to be flying, but there's just not enough room. So he's kind of like bunny hopping.
It's probably a good thing that we kept him inside the cave.
That's why I smiled.
I was like,
because there's literally a section that says wyverns prefer to be flying and they will not land in a fight unless they're tricked into it or forced into it through like damage. So it would just be flying around, it would just burning him. So it's back up to Rasiri.
In it, it's like I'm better off. I'm gonna have to weapon change.
how high? 5? Only 5 foot. You would shoot it though.
I thought I have a
It's 10 foot up, remember?
Oh, so it doesn't matter.
Even though it's within 5 foot of you, like horizontally, it's got the 10 feet up. So currently, you're not going to get a penalty.
Would I still have to
I don't think.
disengage?
Actually, hang on. How does it work? No, it's if you were within their attack range, and because he's doing like
So
the hopping
I
thing.
would be in.
Yeah, you'd have to disengage.
Okay.
But you don't have to. She's got a bow, surely, so she can just carry on shooting him.
You can shoot him, but it's just going to have disadvantage.
Yeah, that's alright.
Because he's like, even though it says 10 feet up, he's kind of like. Well,
That's
it
just
says
on to
bouncing,
hit though,
so-
innit? The disadvantage.
Yeah, you still you don't get disadvantage on damage.
Okay, I'll try it.
Okay.
Also, it's 150 range anyway for her to shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
but if you're
okay.
within
I'm
melee range,
Quite clear.
then
Oh,
you
I
get
see.
disadvantage.
Against him.
I see.
18. Oh. Okay.
Right, roll again. Take the lower of the.
Oh,
What was it?
that went.
That went in
Ah,
second,
fine.
18 on.
Alright, so you still hit, but you just don't get a crit.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Damn it.
With the toxic arrow or not?
No.
Okay.
I've lost what I'm going to do. 1d8. There we are. Oh. Right. So 4 damage on the first one. And then my d6. 9 damage.
9, okay.
And then again, but then I have to do disadvantage again.
Yep.
21 on the first one. 16 on the second one.
Hits.
Oh,
Oh,
fab. Can I do my extra D8 then?
Yeah, you could have done that last time, couldn't you?
Yeah, but I won't do it now.
Alright.
I can only do it once per turn, see?
Oh, right, I see. Okay, crack on.
People are gonna feel so sorry for you after this one.
I think you like beat
It's like,
her.
sure you guys can all see this, right? It's like on camera.
Okay, so oh my god, right, 4.
Right?
12. 16.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you get damaged? Did it? Yeah, it hit
Yes,
you,
I
didn't it?
did.
Roll concentration for me. So, roll constitution saving throw.
11.
Okay. Consider we've called the rule 10. That's fine. You're still concentrating. I'll look up the real rule. If I can fucking find it. D&D Beyond.
So,
Just saying. I'm being a child, so. 69.
who done 9 damage to it?
You. Just now.
Okay.
That final shot that you just put in has caused blood to start seeping from a wound, so it is bloodied.
That's 69, yeah? That's how much it's got at the moment.
It's got left, yeah. So it may
So
be,
it's already been hit 69 damage.
yeah, it may be slightly more, it may be bang on 69, who knows.
Knowing you is bang on 69.
I didn't plan it to be that way. It's not. Do you see this? Do you see this abuse, this mental torture?
Okay.
Our face.
Is it my goal?
It is.
And he's facing me.
Yeah.
Is his mouth open?
You can try.
Make perception check.
No, it's basically just make a shot and.
Should I try?
Try and get it in his mouth. Yeah, go for it.
What are we doing?
Are you using the mushroom arrow now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 13 plus 1.
Oh,
That's
you're
where
to
the
hit.
That's a
arrow
hit,
is.
isn't it? 5. 18.
18. Okay, so you shoot it, it does hit, but it pings off like the upper eye. You're about a foot off. Just
At 18, with 18.
you don't get it in its mouth. It does hit, it does injure it as it comes off, but you've missed the mushroom shot.
Okay. Don't really care about the mushroom shot. But I've still got.
Yeah, you still hit it.
I've
You
still
can still
hit
do
it, so
normal
I still
damage.
do my damage,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's got poison on it as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So 5
Cool.
D4, isn't it? Is it
Yeah.
D4?
Yeah.
4 plus 9 damage.
9 damage total.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I get my bonus action out of that.
Yeah.
But do I want to move and then stab it? There's upwards in there, I'm not going to be able to reach it. Okay, I'll just shoot it again.
Okay.
But no, obviously I don't have any poison left.
Okay, yeah, reckless shot.
Oh wait, I have a javelin. But I have to change it.
You should
Yeah.
put an arrow at first and then.
I'll do an arrow first.
Yeah, then as a bonus action, I'll allow you to swap to pull out the javelin. You can drop a weapon on the floor and pull out a new one for free,
Okay.
but then it's
I
on
don't
the
think
floor.
it's even hit anyway. 11.
Nope. So you throw the javelin. Oh wait, no,
No,
you
I
shoot it with
said,
an arrow, and yeah, it just pings off. Like you hit it in the chest, and it hits like the thicker, darker hide, and it just bounces off. And it just goes scattering across the room somewhere. Okay, so before Deb even has a chance to blink, it retreats back down through the cave slightly, so basically reset where it was.
So do I not get an opportunity attack again? Because it's in my range. Really?
Go for it.
Well, how do I do it?
Just make a regular attack, just the one.
How did you get opportunity attack? I'm so confused.
Because it's within.
It
They were within like
Oh, 'cause
melee
Before
combat.
it tried to run away.
Yeah.
Right.
It didn't disengage. It just moved.
Oh.
It'll still move anyway, even if it gets hit. So just you may as well leave it back down where it was. He's a flighty one.
Oh yes.
22.
Yep, hits. Roll damage.
Just the 1d8 though this time, yeah?
I believe so.
It says every time you hit do with a weapon attack.
Oh, then yeah.
Hunter's mark.
Yeah, you did get Hunter's Mark, but I don't think you'd get that Colossus Slayer thing. That's
No,
a once per turn.
that's once per
So
turn,
yeah,
I
no,
remember
you wouldn't
turn,
get that. But no, you get Hunter's Mark damage.
That's the third time I've done that now, isn't it? Oh, 8.
8 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
So you manage to shoot it right in his scaly ass as it starts flying away. It like turns its back on you just long enough for you to put one right up where the sun was shining. Right, so now Deb gets to move.
Okay.
It's still bloodied.
It is bleeding. It's not bleeding from its ass.
So.
Asshole.
25. We are in it. So, I am going to rage.
Yay! I was waiting for that.
Now, I've never done it before. I've never played Barbarian before, so I don't actually know what.
Right,
That
you get half damage from them,
Right.
like from physical attacks. If it sets you on fire, you're still fucked. But yeah, if it bites you or hits you or whatever, you take half damage. And I'm not sure if it's dependent on your level. I think it is. You get at least +2 damage.
Yeah.
So it says +2 there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just that is raging, and as long as you hit it or it hits you, you're gonna keep the rage up. You get like
Okay.
a 1 turn grace period though.
Okay, cool. So, going in with my great axe.
Even the slap.
That's 18 to hit.
Yep, hits.
Cool. And then 1d12.
Somewhere between 16 and 11.
So it's 5 plus 5 is 10, so 12
12 damage.
damage, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you bury the axe head like into its where it's lowered its front. I say front wings. It hasn't got 2 sets. The front of its wing, where the little like claw thing is, you manage to just bury an axe in it, and you hear the bone crunching in this wing. So the left wing goes slightly numb. I can't speak, but it goes numb, and you can see that it's like trying to flap it, and it's just not working. It's like lost control properly of the left wing.
Good. Okay, here we go again. 13, 21 to hit.
Caught you.
D12. 12 plus 5 plus 2 is
19.
math.
Okay. What's that? That's gonna be okay.
Was that 19 damage?
That's a hell of a hit.
Yeah.
It's bleeding from every way, but it retaliates. I believe. Hold on. Yes, it does. Now that you've cornered it down in the bottom of its cave next to its corpse pile, the fact that it hasn't been able to engage you in the open, it's feeling really like claustrophobic and pressured into the back of the wall. So it builds up another fire breath. So I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
All of
All of
us.
us.
Not just Aura. You're not within its range. I buffed the range, but it's just it hasn't been good. Like everyone's been far enough apart.
Nat 20.
Okay.
Burn yourself, bitch.
No, I'm trying to think of how you could, because you know, it's got to be rewarded somehow.
Stab myself in the mouth.
How? I don't even know, because the thing is with the save is kind of. Alright, you dodge out of the way, and you get to make a free disengage by 10 feet. So not only do you, you can go 10 feet in any direction you want, but you get to break combat with it. So you can like, you know, if you want to charge back in next turn or whatever, but it just prevents it from immediately slashing your mouth.
Cool.
So yeah, cool. And now we're back to Rosiri.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
My sneak attack says that it can deal 3d6
No, it's not Rosiri. No.
with a ranged weapon.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can do it when I'm shooting?
Yes.
Because why am I?
As long as someone
As long
has
as someone else is
been
engaged with
engaged
it.
with it. It hasn't been engaged with it, been shooting it. Has it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
It wasn't
No, it
me,
was
wasn't it?
Jess.
Oh shit. Then yeah. Sorry.
That's okay, no worries. I was just wondering, like, if I could still do it when I'm shooting.
Wait, I've lost track now because it flew, but it was doing it between turns. Oh no, Laura's just done her turn, haven't you? Yeah, and then he's right. So he hasn't actually had his turn yet. I was like, I'm sure he hasn't gone. No, he just that was like a retaliation. That wasn't like his actual turn. So, seeing you hop out of his fire, he's gonna do like a drive-by. So he's very crooked on the one side, but he's going to kind of charge forward. So if you move him up towards you to start with, he's going to attempt to hit you with his tail. The stinger. That's going to be a 20 to hit. Not natural, but 20 to hit.
Yeah, that has.
Okay. Where the bloody hell are the dice? There we go. Ooh, that's going to be 13 piercing damage.
But will I still be raging though?
Yes, so drop that to 7 because we round up.
Okay.
And then I need you to make a constitution saving throw for me, please.
Okay.
Again. But this one is different.
Fuck.
Oh.
6.
Ooh, okay.
Oh fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. He's doing many a roll. I like it.
23 poison damage, so you
Fuck.
don't half it.
Okay.
It hits you, the stinger, right in the gut, and there's this horrible burning sensation that begins around near your belly button. And it starts swelling, and then there's just this horrible, just acidic burn that's eating away. Oops,
Sorry.
oh my god. You can
Yeah.
feel eating away at your insides, everything
I'm
starts to
sorry.
feel sluggish, and you feel like you're going to be sick, and there's just this wooziness that takes over you. So
Guys, I'm dying.
that was a fucking punch. And then it's going to just use the rest of its movement to swoop towards, well, basically as far as it goes. Further slightly, so between the two, so it engages them both.
Oh.
Yeah. And then it's going to lash out towards Rasiri with the claws. 21 to hit.
Okay. This is.
Fuck up.
Fuck. Oh.
That's gonna be 12 slashing damage.
You know that it's poison damage. Did the poison affect it at all other than?
It has been affecting it, yeah. Believe it or not, he's not actually resistant to his own poison.
Okay.
Or it doesn't specify at least, so this particular one ain't.
I can't remember what you said. 7? What? How much was it?
What did I say? 12 slashing?
12.
12 slashing damage. And then it's gonna attempt to bite down at Enil.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a 15 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how much does that do? That's gonna be 12 piercing damage as it clamps its teeth down around you. Like as you kind of still raising your bow, it manages to catch onto your forearm and just take a big chunk out of it with its teeth. It really hurts, but you know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
My turn?
So now, yes. No, it goes to Rasiri. She quick. She got 21 twice. You
Okay.
bugger.
Oh, do I have to make a con thing for my hunter's mark? Close hit.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I need to remember concentration cut down. And I wish I could find the rule, D&D Beyond, you bugger.
Back, I've lost my hunter's mark. It's 6.
Oof, okay, so that drops. So you don't get the bonus damage now.
Okay. I'm gonna cast it again. No, I'm only joking. I could actually.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm eating.
It's all good.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna
If
shoot
anyone
you.
wants some.
I'm gonna shoot you with my the poison
Okay.
arrow.
Okay.
Because I got one left.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be at disadvantage.
Fuck. It's fine.
Is it flying?
No, it's kind of
Come
like...
on, it's gonna just
no,
go
it's-
on
it's-
side.
It's still trying to use its wings, but it's not...
First within
doing
5
much.
feet
Yeah.
upwards.
Yeah, well, it's flat on the ground now.
15.
To hit?
Mm-hmm.
Just hits.
Cool. So I'm guessing that's the AC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so roll damage. I need to get a D&D music playlist sorted. It's just like the dead silence in between. It's like, yes.
6 damage.
6.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, and the poison.
Yep, D4.
8.
Whoa, what? Is it?
No, 8 altogether, sorry.
Oh, right. Jesus, I was going to say. It was like D4, 8. How did that work?
No. What?
Huh? What is this?
Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, that one manages to jab like right in his throat. It pierces the what seems to be thicker scales, and it's just right in there. It seems to be jammed between two plates.
I'm gonna do it again.
With disadvantage.
I know!
And remind guys, do you see this? He's abusing a DM. You know what? Rocks fall.
No!
And the entire cave,
Yeah,
everything
take
is
4,
dead.
4 bludgeoning damage as you get clubbed by a rock.
No, fucked it. 13.
To hit,
Mm.
misses.
Okay.
You shoot, and before you even loose the arrow, it's already like smacked your hand with its head and just knocked the arrow onto the ground. Right, so is that your turn?
Yes.
Right, Enil, you're up.
Okay, moving first.
It
Meh.
gets opportunity attack on you. Oh wait, no. Oh,
She's
you were
moving
10 feet
in.
away, were you? Okay.
I was
yeah,
there.
right,
so
okay,
I'm
that's
moving
fine.
in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were already in a moving out.
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
So you've currently got the bow equipped, so you can either use that to attack, or you can drop it and pull out another weapon, like just the one, or you can bonus action swap to another weapon.
I'm just gonna drop it and take my short sword out.
Okay, cool. Go for it. So 2 attacks with the short sword.
$17.
Yep, hits.
8.
8 damage. Ooh.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so you place the sword like while the wing is kind of crippled and down on the floor. Oh no, wait, you're on the right wing, so he's facing the other way. So it would be as he drops the wing down towards the back of you, as he's like swung towards Siri to like block the arrow. You've managed to essentially just bloodlet the wing. You've sliced it in such a way that it's just pouring out with blood now.
Okay. So I can use my sneak
Make
attack.
yep. Add the extra damage.
How do I add the extra damage?
Just roll 3d6. Did you just roll 3 ones?
3 threes.
Oh, 3 threes. Oh, nice.
9.
9 damage.
It was just the way
So-
you up to the end.
There's a moment after you slice the wing that it seems to falter and stagger,
Mm.
and then it kind of slumps down onto its broken wing and just collapses forwards. You've essentially bled it to death. It is now dead. It's just slumped.
I killed it.
You think it's dead, at least. You've bled it to the point where it's slumped over.
Someone stab it.
Should I go again? Because I've still got my
Yeah.
attack again.
Yeah. Well, still in the arse, or are you gonna like run under his head?
No, it's ass. Right in the ass. Sorry, I'm adding things. 21.
Yeah, it's basically an auto hit anyway because he's just lying there.
6 damage.
Well, you jam the sword right up his pooper, and he just doesn't flinch at all. You
So he's
think
definitely
he's
dead.
dead. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have slain the wyvern, and from the corpse pile in the corner, you can cheer. He's like, "Gone. Did you kill him?"
He did!
Yeah.
Oh, boys, I'll tell you what. Oh, it's just hit me, them mushrooms. Oh, these corpses are starting to move. Fucking hell. And he like clambers out of the corpse pile. And he's like going, oh my god. Oh, that one's moving. The floor is made of crystals. Mushrooms! And he's like really freaking out on this drug. Like he took twice the mushroom dosage and he's freaking out. You can see that he's all like tattered as well. Like all the only way he survived, he was wearing such thick layers of pelt that the claws didn't completely just sink into him, but there's like blood coming down bits and some of them are all tattered and shredded, and he's just started to like real lose his shit trip out. So yeah, but you have slain the wyvern.
I'm
Wyvern.
gonna take some of his scales off his chest.
Use a do an nature saving throw for me, please.
What do I do for that?
Actually, no, do a medicine saving
D20
throw.
and then add
Yeah.
your medicine to it.
D20.
I'm learning.
10. I have a medicine. Where are you, medicine? 16.
16. You've definitely learned from the owlbears, and it seems you know a lot more about wyverns than owlbears. You like perfectly carve around this like big plated scale that is nothing like either any of you have seen before. It's a very thick plate. Almost looks artificial. It isn't. You can tell because it's the way that it's melded to the actual flesh. But this is not an ordinary wyvern, at least. It could definitely take a hit more than a fleshy underbelly. But you just perfectly carve a scale, pocket it.
Okay. And now I'm going to try and cut his head off. Because
Wow.
we need to be like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oi.
I need to show him.
That's true. We're
Go
not
for
gonna
it.
get the gold.
Me. You know what? You don't even need to roll. That was a good medicine check. And it's a big dead fucking wyvern. You just spend the next 5 minutes hacking at the same spot, just busting through. All of you kind of join in, just wailing on it. Cadwalder's freaking out in the corner. Like this
I'm
looks
ignoring that fucker. He's
terrifying to
annoying.
him. Like he sees one of you as a goblin, one of you is a giant, and the other one is made purely of rock. He's freaking out. Like this is a bad trip for him.
Oh, love him.
And it just looks like you're hacking at a giant dead, like big fluffy cat. Like it doesn't look like a wyvern to him. It's just a big cat. He's like spooked.
Oh, well, he can
So,
say what he is.
yeah. Go back to your
Wow.
soggy cave of
Yeah.
fungal wonders.
Fungal wonders. Okay, so we get his head.
Yep, you've hacked his head. It weighs a lot. It's quite a big
Are
head.
you
It's,
strong?
you
Am
can-
I able to put it up onto the antlers of my hat and carry it?
Make a constitution. No, make a strength saving throw first. See if you can even hoist it up.
Okay. So.
You know those African women that carry jugs of water for
Yeah.
miles?
Well, like,
So I'm
without your
making
hands.
strength,
is that-
Yeah.
strength check, yeah?
Do a strength check first to see if you can even pick it up on your own.
13. Which is
Okay,
bad. So
you
plus
start
my
lifting
strength.
it, and you get the back end of it off, and seeing his struggle, the two of you lift her up with her. She's like, "I got this." Puts her head underneath, and tries to stand up. Now make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome. 18.
Okay, so you've managed to impale the dragon onto the antlers of the deer, and with a bit of steadying from those two, you manage to like lift yourself up to a point where you feel stable enough, and you've just about, you've got the hands either side, and you're wobbling back and forth, but you've managed to hold it up without like breaking your spine in half, because this thing weighs a lot.
Look, guys, this is awesome.
You're a dragon wearing a deer wearing a dragon.
It's fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
So you
And now,
make your way.
Because Walter's fucking having a full on.
Oh yeah, he's freaking out.
I'm gonna pick up.
As
my
far as
phone,
he's
by the way.
concerned, now he can see a goblin wearing the skull that looks like the arse of a spider, with all its legs inverted upwards, and on top of that is a large cat's head. He is losing his shit. He's like proper hyperventilating.
To be fair though, the actual real thing isn't that much better.
No, I know, that's what I mean. Like, but as far as he's concerned, you know, a goblin wearing a spider wearing a fucking
I was saying it's
cat.
just one shits.
One shits.
It says 15 hits.
One
but
shits.
it looks like it
split.
says one
One shit.
shits.
Okay, so you managed to make your way back down the valley with this
I
thing
think I
on your
brought my
head.
bow up, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Eskel's head.
I want to get his head.
Okay,
And
so
also, I want to pick up the owls.
yeah.
No! Oh yeah,
We left.
we
the
left
lid,
them,
didn't
didn't we? Yeah.
Okay, so you want to decapitate. So without any worry, you go back, you decapitate the Albays, Betty and her little son, I can't remember his name, and you've balanced this dragon on your head. You've got an Albay head under each arm. You've gone and sent Rosiri off to the bushes to retrieve Esketh's head, and you just rock up back in the town that's, you know, still trying to recover from the last essentially bombing run of this wyvern that isn't actually a wyvern, whatever. And you just turn back up into town with 4 severed heads and a fucking tripped out, drugged up, druid looking man walking behind you, all dressed in like cloths, just like furs following this giant cat head. It's quite a sight. You're met by the whole town cheering, specifically you with the dragon on your head, and everyone starts like dancing and, you know, they're throwing things in the air and
I know
they're
that.
shouting and screaming, and they feel now that they can safely rebuild without having to worry about dragon bombing runs every 5 minutes. And what's his face? Torvald comes up to each of you, gives you the 250 that he promised you, throws in an extra 100 between the 3 of you for killing the 2 Albays and bringing back bits of Esketh. I can't remember who he spoke. You know what? That was possibly the best couple £100 that we have invested into Outsiders. Thank you very fucking much for, you know, saving the day, saving the town, saving everyone involved. This has been absolutely brilliant. I've never really done a speech like this, so I don't really know what to say, what's going on. That's a dragon. I don't know why I said that in character. There's another one! Fuck! I know what the next one shot is. It's his wife. She's bigger. But no, thank you all very much for coming to our quaint little town on the edge of buttfuck nowhere, and I hope you a safe journey back to wherever it is you came from. Do us a favour, please don't return.
P.S. Give me your belt. I'm not fucking leaving without it.
He just kind of reaches around the back and clips it and is like, I don't even like it anyway, it digs in my belly. Go on. Just hands you the belt over and he's like,
I don't really want it. He just gives it back. Just that, she just wanted to be able to be like, that's mine.
right. He puts it over his shoulder and it's just like, I suppose I have some business to attend to. I don't know, I'm very new to this. I don't know how it works.
Crispy
But-
Man. Did he live?
Oh, no, he died. Like, I told you, he didn't have long, but like, it was probably about 5 minutes. He kind of hyperventilated to a point of dying. The priest said something about him screaming about death, apparently. I don't know.
Priest told him he was going to die. We were there.
No, the
witnessed it.
priest said that he didn't say shit. He left the room when you came in and then went back in and he was screaming. So.
Yeah, because the priest said you're going to die as he was leaving. We were there, we all seen it.
Alright, anyway.
It just took him longer to scream because it didn't. No.
Okay.
Nasty, like.
Right, anyway.
Bye!
I'm sure I've got business to attend to, so I'm gonna go. You should probably, leave. Considering it looks like you killed Esketh, even though you may not have. Looks like you did.
Esketh killed himself.
I'm sure
Bitch,
he did.
please.
Anyway, thank you very much.
He was a chicken
Goodbye.
anyway.
And then he just
Goodbye.
wanders off and leaves you there,
Bye!
and we'll call it there.
Yay! Whoop, 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 whoop. Well done, everyone.
That was fun.
Yes.
Killed our first draconic monster.
Whoop.
There you go.
Sorry if that's even pulled out of my ass. It was.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
fun.
good.
It was good.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone.
Thank you,
for
everybody.
watching.
Thank you, everyone.
We've been Boogie Moustache.
Yes.
This will go up on YouTube at some point.
It
Watch
will
it.
do indeed.
Share it with your friends. Subscribe.
Myself and
all that stuff.
Laura should be doing something on
So we're doing a stream Saturday.
Stream Saturday, and we're doing a podcast on
Yes,
Saturday as well.
indeed.
Cool.
But
So-
our first podcast should be out on Sunday, I believe, which is myself and the Tiffer.
Yes.
So we're doing episode 2.
Yes. So me and Cass will be at 1 o'clock on
1 o'clock.
Saturday. So
So we will see you then.
I don't know what I'm involved in because uni has sprung another assignment on me, so just keep an eye out. I'm sure there'll be more D&D soon enough anyway. I assume we're doing this weekly now, so if so, tune in 7 o'clock next Thursday, and if not then, the Thursday after. We shall see you all soon.
We'll put it up on social media.
Yes, we will.
yes.
Bye, everybody!
Peace.
Bye! Click the doofer. Bye!
Oh, before we go,
Oh,
if
Before.
you want to see us again, remember to follow if you haven't already. Okay, bye.
Follow.
Hey, or subscribe.
I'll do that.
because you can do that now. 'cause-
All of the things.
Yeah, subscribe. Give us money.
Money.
Okay, bye.